Welcome. Welcome, everyone. It is so good to meet you. Wait, why did I say that?
It's so great to meet you. My name is Brad.
You're on autopilot, Vana. You're on autopilot. Streaming off
I was new to the channel. It's so nice to meet you. Welcome
All
to
of
Vana's
us who
channel.
have never met
Consider
before.
joining the Vanguard. All the time.
I'm fucking dying.
It's been great. Please leave.
You overstayed your welcome, really.
In my defense, I watched both live action Ninja Turtle movies back to back last night, so that's
That's actually
your
honestly a well-known
turtle and
symptom
why is
of
it
watching
needed?
that. Oh my god.
my favorite
It's
turtle.
not this.
My favorite turtle is Raphael because he's cool and rude.
Vana, I think we need to talk about
About what?
I feel like you know what, never mind. Maybe not. You're good.
What? Wait, I'm genuinely confused. Is that bad?
All of your favorites seem to be people who will not respect you.
Okay, we don't have
Listen,
time to
Vana's
unpack
not
that
wrong.
live on stream, like with people we just
No,
met. Come on.
Wait, let me put on my superhero cape. I'm gonna come and swoop in and say, Vana, hi, my name is Liv. I use she, they pronouns, and my favorite turtle is also Raphael. Thank you.
And I said the same thing. I'll say the same thing to you, Liv.
This
I've
is
known
not
you for a while,
therapy
and I know this
hour.
for a
We
fact.
no. This is not therapy hour. Drac, shit.
Oh my god. Anyway, this is Higher Education, a 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons game set in the Strixhaven universe with an original story, and we are joined by a lovely cast. Let's meet them for the first time ever. Kane.
It's me, Kane. Hi, everyone. My pronouns are they, he, and she. You can find me all across the internet at by Connie Chong. That's BYCONNIECHANG. I am playing Stag Zua Graves for you all today. Goliath Barbarian, whom you met last week and are gonna keep meeting this week. Speaking of people who will disrespect you, that's your type. Outside of higher education.
Hi.
Oh, hi, Stag. I am the game master and creative producer for Transplanar RPG, which is an all transgender POC-led dark fantasy D&D show set in an original non-colonial anti-Orientalist world. We stream Saturdays, that's today at 8 p.m. US Eastern Time, and we have a doozy of an episode tonight. It's literally like the biggest lore drop in the history of the campaign and perhaps my entire TTRPG career, period. So if you have free time tonight at 8 p.m. US Eastern Time, pop over to twitch.tv/transplanar RPG. We'd love to see you in chat, even if you're brand new. Everything's pre-recorded, tightly edited, like 2 hours or under with background music, sound effects, all that stuff. So if that's your jam, check us out. Dark fantasy, existential dread, plus lesbians with emotional problems. So if that's your thing, just check us out. And I'll pass along introductions over to Liv. Is this the correct direction?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's me. Hello. Hi, I'm Liv. I use she, they pronouns, and when I'm not fantasizing about characters that would disrespect me, Stag, you can find me on the internet playing a whole bunch of different TTRPGs with lovely folks. On Mondays, I'm over on Under the Table, trying out a whole bunch of indie games. Very exciting. And I'm also a member of Strix U, which is an all-Black HBCU-inspired Strixhaven setting. It's kind of my thing. I really like Strixhaven. But here today, I will be playing Zero, who uses they, them pronouns. Honestly, not your manic pixie dream anything really. I don't think Zero fits into that trope.
I mean,
whatsoever.
adjacent to a pixie in a literal sense, but otherwise.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only thing. I'll have to think of a twist on that phrase. But yeah, Zero is the fairy warlock of the group, and everything's fine.
Why wouldn't it be?
Why wouldn't it be? Who cries early in the morning and then gets up and rolls around and just is totally okay? Why would anybody ever need to do that?
Jack, what's up with you?
Hi, I'm Drac or Draconics. You can find me on Twitter at Draconics. That's DRAKONIQES. I'm a TTRPG performer, writer, producer, all of that stuff. I'm a co-founder of French Roll Dice, which is a TTRPG Twitch channel. I'm in a bunch of stuff. Just follow me on Twitter, honestly, or Tumblr, or Mastodon, or TikTok, I guess, or Instagram. It's Draconics everywhere that I'm at. So just search and I might be there. And I'm playing Beauregard, uses she, he, they pronouns. They are a Gorgon inventor, specifically a machinist inventor, because they have their massive machine construct that they have following around them called the full name, because I don't think I've actually said that yet. The full name is long as fuck. It is the Animated and Specialized Titanium Adamant Alloy Rig version 13, or A star for short, or just star, or even shorter. And yeah, they are the naive, clueless character of the group. So it's been fun. It's been fun being around people who will disrespect you and not notice.
Amazing. Hamna.
Yes, hi, hello, my name is Hamna. I use any and all pronouns, and I am a TTRPG performer. You can find me on Twitter at @hshahid_, or when Twitter, I guess, blows up into flames, I do have a card. It's hamna.card with 2 Rs.co, where I will link literally anywhere else that I decide to migrate. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out. Because I have to leave early today, I'm just going to do my plug really quickly right now, which is that today at 6 p.m. Eastern time, we will be going live over on Nameless Domain's Twitch channel for our charity Pokemon Showdown tournament. It is going to be absolutely amazing. So please, after you watch this show, come down to Nameless Domain and check us out. We are going to be pitting a bunch of tabletop content creators, all of them people of color, against each other in an epic battle of the epic highs and lows of Pokemon Showdown. You won't want to miss it. It's for a great cause. But today I will be playing Jaysha, who uses they, Ray pronouns. And Jaysha is an Earth Genasi sorcerer and blood hunter. And they will respect everyone except for Stag, I guess. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to pass it over to C.
Hi everyone, my name is C. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me making very trans, very gay art on the internet at Pie Sharp Art. Tonight, I'm playing X, who's a very, very normal individual. They definitely have a personality. They definitely know who they are. And they definitely don't have weird sleepwalking fits where they do, normal things like walk. I don't know. This is a weird intro for me. I'm trying really hard. X's favorite turtle is the red-eared slider. So just so we all know that. Just as a heads up. Back to you, Vana.
That's a very X answer.
Been roommates with Baru too long. That took me a whole second. I was like, none of them are named that. Is there
it's their self-insert
turtle?
Self-insert.
Oh my god.
Your turtle
Not now,
soda.
but later, you need to tell me
it's
everything
their
about
persona.
that turtle soda, please.
It's not a fursona when they're reptiles. It's a, what's it called? It's
Scaly.
Scaly. A
I love that
scaly
you know that
sona.
word,
Yeah.
C.
Yeah, listen, I'm learned.
Yeah. As a dragon fucker myself, I respect your knowledge of the culture. And of course I am Vana. And I'm going to be your GM, producer, and Jimmy Fallon of today.
No.
It's because I laugh at my own jokes, not because I'm a white man.
Wait, you're not a white? Oh,
This
Well,
is
I am
Vanna
white.
telling everybody today.
I'm revealing too much. Connie, what have you done?
I'm trying to move my Steam Deck and it's messing up all my cables. Ignore me.
Okay, you're good there. $50 tip, and thank you for bringing attention to one of the first things I want to talk about before we get into the show. We have a $100 goal for the episode. We're already halfway there, if you can believe it. You can, because it's true. And if we hit that goal, it's going to unlock a bonus scene. We don't have one prep for today, or as far as like if it unlocks, we'll do this specific one. But there will be a bonus scene that wouldn't normally be in the show, and it'll either happen in the show if we have time, which I don't think we will. It'll be recorded, or it'll be squeezed into next episode. Which also brings me to my second point. Last episode on our premiere, y'all unlocked the bonus scene, and we are going to be doing that at the end of today's episode, featuring Stag and X, and how they originally met. And it's going to be sexy, silly, scary,
Fruity. All
Fruity.
three.
definitely queer. So stick around for that, and thank you for unlocking it next episode. If you want to see a second bonus scene, unlock that bonus goal today. We're only $50 away. Thank you, Sater, for the contribution. The other thing I want to talk to y'all about is our sponsors. You can do exclamation point sponsors in the chat at any point in time to see who is sponsoring this particular episode. And the show as a whole, Higher Education, is presented by Penny Dragon Games. And then you can check out the list of our other sponsors for this specific episode in the command there. Go check them all out. They're all awesome. They're all providing fantastic D&D supplements and maps and accessories, and it's just going to make your life better. And I know your life sucks, so you could really use it. What else? I'm just speaking from the heart. Exclamation point CW. This is not a complete list, an exhaustive list, because I'm just updating it as we go. Wait, don't look at that one. That's for a video game. Look at this one. So yeah, look at that. We've got likely gore, trauma, psychological abuse, death, bullying. And if any of those are going to be upsetting for you, please take care of yourself first. Step away if you need to. Or if anything comes up during play, again, please take care of yourselves first and foremost. And also know that we have tools in place for our players as well, if something comes up for any of them, or of course myself. And what else? What am I forgetting? Casteruni. I think that's it. Oh, check out the wiki. If you want to see, if you want to catch up on a written recap of session 0.5 and session 1, you can check out the wiki, and the VOD is also highlighted, so you can check that out on Twitch. And I think I ported it to YouTube, so
You did.
cool.
You did.
Amazing.
You did.
So you can check it out there, and then we have someone working on the podcast version for episode 1 right now, so that should be available to you on podcast apps soon. Okay, I think that's it. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Get into it, yeah. Okay, so when we last left our players, oh damn, okay, well that's the goal met. Thanks, Esto.
Oh.
We
Thank
haven't
you,
done
Esto.
anything, y'all. Like, I love the enthusiasm.
Someone do a backflip really quick. I think they've earned it. Humna flies away.
My office is not big enough for me to do a backflip. I would break my head.
Oh
do
my
that.
goodness. Thank you so much for the support. Oh! No, that's it.
Yay.
Cool.
Any tips that you make at the Pally link are split evenly between us. That's what I wanted to say. Again, I watch both the Ninja Turtle movies. I don't know what you want from me. All right. We last left our players. We had just finished a very rousing round of Mage Tower, which actually ended very quickly. I think that was an abnormal length of time for a Mage Tower round to take. And it is, of course, meant to be best 2 out of 3, but there was an interruption at the end of the game. The field began to quake and shake, and the podium that you were writing the haikus at during the previous match began to sink into the ground as if in quicksand. And what I need from a few people is some saving throws.
Right off the bat.
So I think I need them from Stag and Baru. Or your Stag, you are at the epicenter with
Hell yeah, I am.
an unconscious Kadoras next to, because you
right.
fucking murdered him.
Legally, I legally fucking murdered him within the rules of the game.
Legally speaking, he is deceased and will never wake up.
What?
I lied. This one's for keepsies. No, but he is right next to you, and he cannot make a saving throw because he is, despite the rules of the field being able to be revived, he's unconscious until a teammate touches him. And you are not a teammate, so you cannot do that. But someone might be able to run over. But in this immediate situation, you are the closest to the epicenter of that pull downwards. And so you need to make a save. And then on the edges, we have Baru next to an unconscious Aurora. So there's a pull on you. It's not as direct. It's not as strong, but it's sort of like a drain in a bathtub, but with dirt.
Cool.
And then Jaisha and Chorus are on the opposite end, and you're experiencing the same type of pull as Baru and Aurora, but you're on the opposite edge of the sort of diameter of the sinkhole. So what kind of rolls we got here?
Can I get a spell?
What save is it?
You can do it for whatever. You're being pulled in, so you could justify
any kind of save?
a dexterity thing. You could justify a strength thing. You tell me how you get out of it, and then I'll tell you if it's reasonable.
I guess I'll make a strength save because that's my best one.
Okay.
So as the ground starts shifting and pulling downward like a sinkhole rapidly forming, Stag is going to root herself like with sheer muscular force in the ground around her, like someone planting their feet at like a shore as the wave comes in and washes out. Like she's just trying to just stay put in the ground. And if that is not physically possible, then maybe she'll also climb out of it as part of the save.
I would think if you were on the edges, you could do that. But I think you're too close to the epicenter, and the earth is going, and if you're planning into the earth, you will go with the earth.
Could it be like an athletics strength save then? Like she's climbing her way out instead of like dex? Like she's using sheer force to just like swim out of the earth, basically.
Yes.
I got a 20.
A dirty 20?
A dirty 20.
Are you doing anything about Kadoras, who is unconscious and being sucked into the center of the sinkhole?
Yes, I was wondering if I was allowed to. I was gonna try to grab him if my save was high enough. But like also just like hawk him over a shoulder.
I think maybe it's two different roles. So so it's sort of like if you're a lifeguard, right? You've got to swim and save yourself, but then there's this whole other set of muscles and skills that you have to enact to pull something with you. So if you want to give me another like a straight strength check for that, maybe.
Could it be also athletics? Like if I'm like swimming toward him and grabbing him, you know, kind of like, okay, cool. Let's do this. Not as good. That is a 11.
Yeah.
Because I rolled a 3.
So what happens there is you're able to pull away, and you do make an effort to grab Kadoras.
Can I get sucked in and throw him out? Could that be the
So you want to intentionally fail your roll?
Like if an 11 means I get away but he doesn't, can I switch it so I don't get away but he does?
Sure.
Okay, yeah, so Stag, literally, you see her, like, dive into the earth and, like, basically, like, freestyle, like, cut her way through the moving dirt toward Kadoras' limp body that's being sucked down. She grabs him and just, with one arm, chucks his entire body, like, shot puts it, out of the sinkhole, and she just lets out a, "You owe me," and gets sucked into
you
before she can finish her
anybody
sentence.
looking over there, you can hear that shout. I mean, there's a lot of chaos going on. The people in the stands have completely erupted. Some people have started to try and push onto the field, but that force field is still in place and they cannot get past that barrier. So the only people that are being affected by this by this phenomena, and the only people that are able to do anything about the people getting sucked in are the two teams for Mage Tower. So anybody hearing that, you hear Stag call out. If you look over, you see the last of like their gigantic bicep as it goes foomp, and disappears into the dirt. Baru, you did successfully just like shot put an entire man.
Yes, I shot put an elf
into a safety range. I think maybe you do it. You throw him and maybe his body kind of like horseshoes around the bottom of the mage tower. Well, just so he doesn't get yanked, you know.
Right. Yeah.
But he is now with a dirty 20. He's out of danger for now. Baru.
Can I get a spell off, or do I have to roll first and get a spell?
We're not like in combat yet.
Okay. I feel I feel the sinkhole begin to drag me in, and I see that who's that? Is it Rubina? Who's the Aurora is unconscious in front of me. Aurora.
Rubina's not there.
And yeah. And I, on instinct, reach out and I'm going to cast Levitate on Aurora.
Okay.
As you see this golden sigil again, the squared, which then you hear it click as it ticks over onto its corner. And then Draconic, you see invoke, and that disappears and levitate as Aurora just levitates 20 feet off the ground.
Okay.
And I rolled for my save and I rolled a 3. And there's nothing I can add to that unless I'm going to somehow use my intelligence to escape this pull. There's strength or dexterity is not going to help me here. So I get pulled into the sinkhole as well.
Yeah, it since Baru's not at the epicenter, it doesn't happen as like immediately as with Stag, but it's a pretty quick grab and go as soon as you lose your footing. And you are getting pulled in, and there's a couple beats before Baru as well as gone. Jaysha, you are on the opposite end of this sort of diameter of the field. You have Chorus, who is conscious. So there's that.
I have rolled a Constitution saving throw because I think Jaysha's way of sort of handling this is to sort of endure through it. Jaysha's on the edge of this, correct? So as long as they are able to prevent their feet from slipping, prevent themselves from being pulled in, they should be okay. And I think Ray uses whatever ability, whatever sort of like, I guess strength, whatever strength they have left to sort of grab Chorus by the waist and pull them back as well in case Chorus is going to get sucked in.
So if do you mean push them?
Whatever is the opposite direction of the sinkhole.
Okay.
So like not into the sinkhole, away from the sinkhole. I'm not trying to end this man's career. Like,
I mean, it'd be fine. Yes, you give me a roll for that. Well, give me one roll. Give me, like for Connie, give me one roll for saving yourself and a roll for helping out.
Okay, I got a 15 Constitution saving throw for myself, and then what would you like me to roll to save Chorus?
You could either do dex, like a dex ability, or a strength one, however you think Jaysha would.
Okay. I'm gonna use a strength, and I guess I'll do athletics. Not super great, but I got an 8.
Whoops. Okay. Well, lucky for you, Chorus is conscious. So, +0 to strength, baby. Oh no, little guy. Okay. Well, you managed to to root it in, right? Kind of like what Connie was describing with their initial tactic. And you are like a tree, an old tree in the woods, and you're not going anywhere. But Chorus, a man of the sea, is not so lucky, and he gets he's a trident. Don't give me that look. gets sucked in at a very similar pace as Baru, and is floating along, and then hand disappears down into the hole. Zero, what are you doing? Liv? Oh.
Yes, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, so who else is still in danger? I think Carrie, Seven Hearts, like there's a couple people who are still out and about, right?
But they're not in the radius of the pole.
Okay.
So you and C and the rest of the NP sizzles are fine.
Are fine. Okay.
Well, I mean, as fine as you can be when
Well-
your friends are getting sucked into a mysterious hole.
That's so fair. Could I? Okay, I have to change my entire plan.
We can
could
come back to you,
I
too.
No. Can I do some kind of Arcana check to figure out like how I could break down the shield, like the thing that's trapping us in
Sure.
here?
Yeah, I will say that it was put in place by numerous professors. So
That's
the
so
challenge
fair.
rating, or whatever you call it, if you know what you're talking
Mhm.
about, is very high.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, like I go to this magic school, so let's try.
Yep.
I listen to both Jasha and Baru ramble all the time. Like between the two of
True.
them,
True.
I think I could figure it out. Okay. Oh, no. That's a 17.
Oh,
It wasn't. It's
yeah.
not. 17's not bad.
It's not bad, but
if it's high,
it's not great
Yeah.
for a really high. Is it
high
a
challenge?
is it a DC? What's it called?
Yeah.
It's a DC.
Everyone's
yeah.
nodding.
Yeah, it
Okay,
is.
good. I know what I'm doing. No,
okay,
you do attempt, absolutely, and I think you even feel some give on the force field, but it's been in place a long time, and it was put there by several faculty, so it's higher power.
Okay. In that case, I want to. I'll waste a spell slot on trying something. I am going to. I don't know. I guess I'll cast Thunderstep to see if I can teleport out.
Yeah, sure. Of the dome.
yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm gonna look at Stag and say,
Oh, Stag is
"Do you want
gone.
to come live?" Oh, not
Stag
Stag.
is gone.
So clearly not Stag. I'm so sorry. X is definitely who I meant. I just have Stag on the brain. I was like freaking out.
Who
can't
are
help
you
it.
talking to, Carrie?
I'm looking at X and I'm like, I
Oh,
asked him
X.
like, can I take your hands? Yes.
My hand?
Okay. And then I'm gonna cast Thunderstep because I can take somebody with me and try to get us both out. But yeah. So does that work?
If X consents to being
Yeah.
taken with? Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know how
But
does
I
that
don't
spell
even know
work.
if it would work to get us out.
How does
I do it. There is like there is harm that can be done, but I don't think anybody is in range. Like I'm not targeting anybody. But if in terms of teleportation, if it allows me to teleport out, it just happens. And I can go to any unoccupied space that I see within range.
Yeah, I honestly think like maybe the force field doesn't keep people in. Like that's not the point of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think maybe you have
Mhm.
no issue. You could walk out, or you could
Oh, okay. I thought we were
Thunderclap.
trapped in there for some reason.
no. It's trapped with you. No,
Oh, that's
just
fair.
nobody can come in. The point of that being like, so people can't rush the field or interfere with the match. But if the players
Okay.
are already on the field when it starts, then They should be able to leave.
I think
when
my
they want
horror
to.
brain. I think my horror brain just turned on. I was like, "There's a force field and a sinkhole. We are not getting out."
No, that's fair.
I got really freaked.
I have been wanting to TPK in the second session for a while, and I just felt like this was the opportunity to do that. So
Thank you for listening to my wish from
You're
the
welcome.
Stars and Wishes.
And I
appreciate it.
applied it to everyone universally. So do you still want to do that, or do you want to? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get us as far away as possible.
If you do leave, you cannot get back in though. And 3 of your friends have disappeared. Who's in the hole? Chorus. Chorus is not your friend, but
You can thunderstep into the hole with us. Join us.
Stag's in the hole. Baru, hole. Chorus, hole.
Wait, Baru's in the hole? I thought
Baru's in the hole.
I levitated
then-
Aurora and then just got sucked in. 'cause I
okay,
rolled a
fine.
3.
Then I'm gonna cast Thorn Whip and pull Baru out of the hole. That's what I'm gonna do with my turn.
Ayo.
Just scratch everything. Thank you, everybody, for being with me through this draft.
What? You got to start somewhere. What is the range on? Well, I guess first question: what's
It
the
doesn't
range?
matter because I'm on the tower.
Okay, that's the other question I was going to say: is if you're still in the tower. Yes, the effects of the game are still in play.
Yeah. So I'll just like snap Baru out.
Okay, you're gonna have to do it at a Well, is it to hit or is
It'd
it
be like
automatic?
it'd be like
or?
3/4 cover as well.
'Cause
technically.
Baru
I have
is-
to make a melee spell attack against the target.
So do it with disadvantage, please.
Okay.
My AC is not very high, so
Okay. That is 18.
At disadvantage?
Yep, I rolled a 12 and I rolled a 19 and I have +6 to my attack.
Well, shit my pants and call me a cab. Yeah, that. I'm
How I
gonna
usually
say.
leave parties.
I'm gonna say it works. You grab Baru, and Baru's like pulled out a bit, but not all the way. So it's kind of like half and half, and still there is a pull that is fighting against the strength of your vine and the strength of the increasingly turbulent sinkhole. But Baru, your head pops out and you just take a huge gasp of air and you just came out of a very dark and wet place.
it was very dark and wet in there.
Baru
That's
screams.
all I say. I just yelled it out.
Just scream.
I mean, okay. See what anything you want to do. The plans have changed. Sierra was not taking you anywhere.
Yes, X has several things they'd like to do really fast. The first is they're still holding on to Bogdog, and I think when this all first started happening, they had kind of looked over at Zero and had been like, is this part of the game? And they very quickly realized this was not part of the game. So they actually wrap Bogdog up in like a little baby Bjorn using their scarf, put them very gently kind of just like down on the top of the platform. And then they take out their longbow and they go, when Ciro uses the vine whip to start pulling Baru out, they're going to do the same kind of maneuver that they did before, where they're going to take their longbow out, and they are going to start running down the tightrope while also like reaching to their pack and grabbing a length of rope that they're going to tie around their waist. And then as they're getting closer and closer to like where they're running at you, Baru, but they look actually up and past your head. And they are going to dive into the hole while also with like the rope tied around their waist, while also like tying the end of that rope against an arrow, like onto an arrow, and shooting the arrow back at the tower. Does that make sense?
It
That's
does.
what I'm gonna
I
do.
don't know what to make you roll.
Can I roll an attack with my longbow?
You can roll an attack or a dexterity, because you're doing a lot of things. You're running across the vine whip, right? While you're running, you're trying to pull out your bow and tie a rope to an arrow, and then you're swan diving into a mysterious hole and shooting an arrow while you do it. So I think I need a dex check and an attack roll. Yeah.
Excellent. Shall it be an acrobatics check or just dex?
I mean, if you can justify acrobatics, how many flips are you
I
doing?
mean, at least one or two. You know me. I'm doing at least one or two flips.
It's a vine.
Yeah, it's a literal
tightrope.
tightrope. Yeah.
It's a literal
This
tightrope.
reminds me when I was watching the Ninja Turtles live action movies back to back last night. At one point, Raphael gets mad, goes on the roof, and just does angry cartwheels.
That is what X is also doing. They're doing angry cartwheels.
Wait, I can see X doing
That's
that.
an 18
that's
for the
a turtle.
acrobatics.
Okay.
And I'm going to use my bonus action for steady aim to give myself advantage on my attack roll,
Sure.
if I may.
Sure.
So, okay. 26 for my attack roll.
All right. Yeah. You pull off this absolute anime nonsense. And I think we see you jump off the end of the vine rope, right? And you're landing down, and just as your arm is about to sink in, you release the bow or the arrow, and it thwunk, hits the bottom of the mage tower. I think just like uncomfortably close to where Kadorus's body is now limp. It's like his crotch is here and the arrow landed.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct.
Oh my goodness. Yes, but you do in that moment disappear down into the hole with everyone else. Yes, Liv.
I literally just pulled somebody out of this fucking hole, and you have the audacity to not just jump in, but use the tool that I use to get somebody out of this fucking hole. If Jaysha jumps in, Cyril is going to thunderstep as far away from the scene as possible. I'm abandoning all of
I
you.
am with you on this. We're not going in the hole. We're getting out of the fucking hole.
Come up to the tower. I'll grab you. We'll thunderstep home. Fuck this
Like,
shit.
we're just like, we're out. Bye. Like, I don't know what y'all are doing.
Amazing. So we're gonna, who else inside? We've got the whole Stag, Chorus, and now X are in the hole. All three of you are blinded and restrained. You aren't able to see what's going on around you, but as I described before, the hole that you are in is wet, almost like a slime substance. It is warm. It is undulating. And it's probably, never mind.
No, finish the sentence, man.
Is this a womb? Is this a womb?
I was gonna say cervix, but
so close enough.
yeah. Well, they serve pretty different functions, I think.
They're close to each. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean,
The cervix is the gateway to the womb.
Does that
You
make
could just say sphincters. Like you're
You know what?
describing
You know what?
sphincters.
Let the hole eat me. I've had enough. I've had enough.
Take me out.
I've always wanted to die like this. And you can't see, but you know that you are restrained, and you're in a constricted space, and you are slowly sliding deeper into the hole. Also, it smells
okay.
bad. It's stinky.
What kind of stink?
Roll for something.
Okay. Yeah.
Perception.
Is that a perception
Roll
check?
for
Okay.
stink.
Come on.
No hesitation on that
Ooh,
question.
That's a dirty
First thing
20.
that came to his mind.
Connie, when I tell you this is poopy doo-doo water,
Oh,
it's poopy
It's like
doo-doo
sewage?
water. It's poopy doo-doo water.
Jesus. You don't have to keep repeating poo-poo
But I
doo-doo
just
water.
need you to know.
Okay. Can I Okay, I know this isn't exactly how this works, but I have ancestral protectors. As I'm sinking into the sewage, can I try to like call on my like great grandfather or something? Because I'm like, Stag is like, what the fuck? So I think she's gonna like, her axe is still out, and she is going to like try to like latch onto something, like calling upon the strength of her rage. She's still raging. Try to latch that blade against like a pipe or a piece of rock or some kind of anchor and like pull herself up while like she's blinded and deafened, so like unseeing, unhearingly reaching out with her fingers in her hands, like up towards the top. Okay, not deafened, just blinded.
Yeah, and restrained.
Okay. Okay, so she's just gonna be like shouting, like, ew, 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 as she's just sort of like reaching out upward desperately and using her axe as a hook.
Okay, I love this, but you do have to make an attack roll at disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
Okay.
Yeah, you're restrained.
That's fair. I wonder if I have anything. Can I reckless attack?
What
Can
is
I
that?
like recklessly? That gives me advantage on a roll, but all attacks against me also have advantage.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll get rid of the disadvantage. I didn't like that, Anna. Ooh. That is a please. Dirty 20.
I forgot how this game works. It's against Dirty 20?
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, no, you do it. But when you sink your axe into the wall, a fresh spurt of mucus and blood comes out and just soaks the front of you. And you were screaming, so a bunch of it goes down your throat.
That is disgusting.
You're welcome. But you do get a grip on the wall, and you can roll damage for me.
Oh, I feel like this thing's alive, so I will be doing damage with that stinky doo-doo water.
Stinky doo-doo water.
Do this. Okay, that is 5, and then 16 points of slashing. 18 points of slashing.
All right. And as you do that, it spurts all over you, but you also hear sort of like this deep guttural scream that vibrates up the cavern, and then squishes out between the dirt that is covering your exit.
I'm having a bad time. X, please save me.
Well, if you're done, let's see. Baru's halfway out.
Yes.
Chorus is in there.
Can I figure out what is going on? Like, especially now that I've heard this sound, which I can only imagine is animalistic.
Yeah, it's mostly from your vantage point, mostly a vibration.
Okay.
But you certainly feel something moving. I'm gonna finish the inside, folks, and then we'll get to the outside. So yeah, see, you are in there with the homies. You are also blinded and restrained. What do you do?
Horrible. X hates this quite a lot, as much as they thought they figured they would. But here they are. So my attempt here is to try to get Stag is screaming and yelling, so I feel like I could probably find where she is pretty fast. And if the other person who's also in here, I imagine, is probably also screaming and yelling. X is going to try to find, or if they're not, I don't know. We'll get to them in a minute. Gonna try to like find their hands flailing around and put their hands on the rope.
Okay.
And be like, climb.
Let's see whose hands you grab. Heads or tails, Connie?
Heads.
You feel familiar, giant, strong, calloused hands grip yours before you put them on the rope.
That's homosexual.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Stag grabs on with a
homosexual.
limp wrist.
Stop. Stag has never been limp in her life.
That's true.
I'm sorry, did we just make it canon that Stag is canonically always hard?
Hard.
Have you seen Stag?
Damn, we need to talk to a doctor about that. If it lasts for more than like
Yeah, like I'm not supposed to do that.
It's 4 decades, right? No, hours? Oh,
Oh,
oh my god. But yeah, so Stag, your hands have been placed on X's rope. What is there anything else you're doing, or you're sort of just focusing on getting someone else attached?
X is focusing on getting someone else attached. I have something to do next, but if you think that I've done enough at this point, I'm fine with
Well,
that.
let me hear it, and then we'll decide.
Well, after X is like, okay, I don't think anyone else is under me anymore, like that they're like the deepest person in the hole, they would stop
I just
that.
spit everywhere.
You're the one who gave us a hole. This is your fault. X is going to look down, and this bright, like, magmatic quality comes up the bottom of the scales on the ridge of their throat. They open their mouth, and I'm going to use my fire breath weapon to just spray fire, I imagine, into this thing, into the inside of this thing's body. Just down.
And you are saying you are the lowest point, or you think someone else
hope
is still
so.
lower?
I
Oh,
hope that
okay.
I'm the lowest point.
Okay, well, yeah, please do your fire breath attack.
Awoo.
Woo! Roll to
Awoo.
hit twice, please.
To roll. Oh dear. Okay, well, the first one was a 4 plus 9, however many that is.
Okay, that's
don't know.
13.
I can't do simple math.
Oof.
So that'll be for hopefully an ally. And then the second one is 21, 22 to hit. I can't count.
They both hit, so go ahead and
Oh my
roll
gosh.
damage for me.
Oops.
Oh,
Whoopsie daisy. Sorry about that. Don't worry, it's only 2d10 lightning or fire damage. That's fine. Oops. 16 points of fire damage.
and do you have to roll separate per, or is it the same?
Oh,
Oh no, it is the same, right? Because it's just a single fire
I'd say the
breath.
same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you hear another one of those like guttural screams slash vibrations slash tremblings move up the tunnel that all of you are in. And you also hear chorus, and with the light from the fire breath, you can now see chorus is indeed in front of you. And a bit singed, as it were. Do you say anything to him? I don't know.
X also just kind of gets out climb and starts reaching for him.
Wow. Okay. So we'll have chorus do a oof, buddy. Na, 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 na. Wait, what is 16 plus 18?
33?
30?
No. I think so. Probably more.
34.
34. Oh my
34.
god. Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay.
I don't know if this is a good yes or a bad yes.
Whenever the GM says yes and they roll a bunch of dice, that's always bad. That's always bad.
No. It's good. So when that fire breath goes off, you hear that scream again, and it's a similar feeling, but then something else is happening, and it's like the tunnel is shrinking and then expanding, and then shrinking and then expanding, and the three of you are being pushed out of the top of it, and there's like this hacking noise as this giant maw just cracks open, above you, and you see rows and rows of huge yellowed teeth, dirt tumbling in and falling all over you and past you. But you do see the sky in the moments before you are flung from the inside of this being, and thrown 15 feet away from it. So if everyone wants to give me a quick just dex roll to see if you take any sort of bludgeoning damage from the throw.
Am I included in this?
Is this a save or just a roll? A check?
Do a save. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get advantage on effects I can see, and I assume I can see this.
You can see that you're being flung from.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, cool.
I got a 12. Not my most handsome dex roll in the world.
14.
Okay. Yeah, Bar, you do it too.
Okay. That is a dirty 20.
Okay, yeah, you're fine. You're halfway out, so I think you get a better eye on it than anyone else. So you're kind of ready for it, and you're able to tuck and roll. Everyone else needs to roll 2d6 bludgeoning damage.
And remember, I think you still have your temp hit point.
You do. Yep. The field
yeah.
is still in effect, so those are temp HP. Okay, so all of you are thrown out. Let's check in with the people that weren't inside. Jaysha, this is sort of the moments before your friends are regurgitated. What are Ray doing?
I think for the people that are outside, is there any way to tell that this is a creature at all, or does it just kind of look like quicksand or environmental effects to us on the outside?
At this point, it just looks like a sinkhole, essentially. But it is actively moving, so it's like a sinkhole meets an earthquake, and you could give me some sort of check to see if you recognize the behavior pattern of whatever it might be, or.
In that case, I think from the sidelines, like after Chorus had been kind of like sucked in, Jaysha like stepped back to somewhere that is safer, maybe closer to our tower where Zero is, and just kind of underneath the tower, they sink down to their knees, and I think they place their hand on the ground, and Ray kind of like tries to sink their magic into the ground to try and get a feel and understanding of what exactly is happening here. And what I would like to argue is that because Jaysha is a metamancer, specifically in the biological sense of the term, and because I have Hunter's Bane, which gives me advantage on intelligence ability checks to recall information about technically fae, fiends, and undead, but I'm going to stretch that to include just creatures in general.
Okay.
I think Jaysha is trying to get an understanding of like what is happening here, so that we, being Jaysha and Zero, can like help our friends who are stuck inside.
Yeah, I love it. Do it.
Okay, I'm gonna make an int check then. I hate my dice. I got a 12 with advantage.
Yeah, I think even with the 12, I think at the very least you can understand that this isn't a wholly natural phenomenon, and there is a creature of some kind involved.
I think
the exact identity, not so much.
Unclear.
Mm-hmm.
I think from the bottom of the tower, Jaysha kind of just like looks up and like sees Zero from the balcony, and just kind of shouts up at them, "This isn't a sinkhole, it's a creature. If we can attack it somehow, get it to release our friends, I think that's the way to go." And given that Zero is up on the balcony, I think they could probably attack it.
Yes, I could. Do I want to do that? Maybe later. Okay, actually, Oh no, people have already been regurgitated. They're already out. Okay, never mind. I don't have to worry about that.
This is the moment before they get regurgitated. So.
Oh, the moment they're okay.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, then I think what I am going to do then, because I don't think Sierra would attack a creature that still had a hold on my friends. That just doesn't make sense to me. So I think like what Sierra, hearing that and knowing that, okay, like we're gonna go on the offensive and we're gonna start attacking this creature, I think Sierra would ready a spell and just wait for like Jasha's call of like, okay, we can go in now, we can like start attacking, because they are in the optimal place. I don't think Sierra wants to leave quite yet. So I think I would just like Sierra would just spend the time getting ready and preparing for this.
Yeah, perfect. So you're sort of like holding an action.
Yeah, I'm gonna ready witch bolt. Yeah.
Perfect. I love it. Okay, so then those moments coincide, and the two of you are looking on as the bulk of the creature beneath the dirt just rips out of the ground, and you can see it has a segmented body, and it's a deep dark purple, and it has like I said before, just rows and rows of teeth that are now, the mouth now open in some sort of horrific. Connie, are you okay?
If this is what I think it is, one GM to another, you evil. Anyway, sorry, that's all.
It also has spines down the ridge, the back ridge, and the sides. And you see as it sort of undulates up and then back down and then up and then just like shoots out your friends 15 feet away, who are now prone on the ground. A couple of them have taken damage and they're just covered in slime. And unless you want to do something else, let's roll for initiative. Unless you want to strategize a different...
I'm down.
Can I argue that Zero gets a free shot before, like a free round before we roll initiative?
So Zero will get a surprise round essentially. Yeah.
No. I rolled a nat 1 and I have a -1 to Dex, so I have 0. My initiative is 0.
Oh my god.
Who else?
7 from Stag.
That's a 7 from Zero.
Jeezy, pizza crust.
Unnatural 20 from Ecstasy.
Hey, yo!
Me too. I got a natural 20 as well for 23.
What is wrong with
my
y'all are
goodness.
cheating? I regret saying, like, I don't care if you cheat.
I didn't actually roll a nat 1. I rolled a nat 20, actually.
Oh, that's so weird.
That's so weird. That's so wild.
Those numbers look really similar. I can understand why you would be confused.
Yeah.
Right? I can't read, so that's why.
I can't read.
These guys can't stop me.
You can't stop me now. All right. Well, Liv, you've got the drop on, you know, I would say this big worm. It's looking like a big.
Is that what you would call it? That's how you would describe it?
Purple worm.
That's wild. Okay, so I'm gonna make a ranged spell attack.
I did not anticipate this response from Connie.
We're level 6. We're level 6, man. I have pity.
What is this? I don't even know what this is.
I know.
I just told you.
The
It's a
purple one.
gigantic purple worm. A worm that is purple. Connie, it's gonna be fine.
Anyway, that's 17 to hit.
17 does not hit.
Oh, worm, literally.
Oh, worm, yeah.
Worm. Oh, worm. Yeah, it's gargantuan is the size. So
Worm.
it's
All I'm
like,
thinking about is the SpongeBob episode where they have the giant worm.
that's really accurate. Also, if you've seen the film Tremors.
I haven't.
The series of films.
Was there a worm in one of the two turtles?
There was not. Believe it or not.
Was Venus a worm?
That's rude.
Would you love
would you
Venus
still
if she
love
was a
her?
worm?
Yeah. No, believe it or not, I wrote the session before I watched the 2 live-action Ninja Turtle movies back to back.
By the way, not
So
sponsored. But if they want to sponsor us, I don't know. I don't
you
know if we'll
want
accept it,
Ninja
to be honest.
Turtles to sponsor the show?
I mean, the new Ninja Turtles, I wouldn't say no to that.
I would change X's subclass. I would be a
Wait, Val,
rogue
already have a
Ninja turtle.
Val
We already have
has been a
turtle, we
Ninja
already have a
Turtle.
rogue.
Val Moira.
Has been a Ninja Turtle this whole time.
This whole time. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Exclamation point sponsors. Check out our real sponsor.
Yeah.
Thanks, fam. Thanks, not Playmate. Appreciate it. Okay, so you do not hit, but it goes off. So I think it just glances off one of the yellowed spikes protruding from its back, its belly, its side. I don't know. It's really just one big silly tube. So who can say? Who's next? Chorus. Good job, buddy. Oh no, wait, who has a better dex bonus, C or Baru? C probably.
C. Yeah.
Or X, and I don't know why I wrote your real name. X.
I'm in the game now.
Your turn. Just a silly straw.
Oh my god.
It's just
Just a silly,
it's just a bendy
silly little
straw.
straw.
Yeah, and I think gargantuan, for anyone who needs it as far as the sizing in 5e, I think it's like 15 by 15 feet, 15-foot diameter, and it's also now protruding like 10 feet into the air. So it's as tall as the mage towers.
Horrible. Thank you.
You're welcome. And it
Incredible.
smells like dookie poo poo.
All right. Well, the stinky worm is about to take 2 arrows to the face.
It has no face.
X-
Only
It has no
mouth.
Well, into the mouth
Yes!
then, because that seemed to work pretty good.
Yes.
X lands and rolls right after they get forcibly ejected from spilling hot sauce with their mouth down its mouth. That's weird. I'm sorry.
Please retcon that description. I didn't like that at all.
Oh no, I
either.
dropped my
I
hot
did not
sauce.
know.
I was into it.
I put hot sauce. Anyway, they do not seem phased by this. If they are phased, it doesn't seem to show on their face. Like they roll, hit the ground, and then by the time that they're still on the ground, like up on one knee, and their bow is out, and they have 2 black arrows knocked in their bow. They pull back, and because of my dread ambusher feature, let's see. I have a few things to tell you about Vana. Number one, I can make 2 weapon attacks on this turn, which is going to be that. And then let's see, because of my assassin feat, I have advantage on all attack rolls against any creature that hasn't taken a turn in the initiative yet. So I will have advantage on both of these attacks.
Okay.
Okay, so the first is almost definitely not going to hit because I don't believe in 18 hits.
18 meets.
Oh, wait, that was...
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay, so 18 for the first one. So one of them will hit, and then natural fucking 20. Natural fucking 20.
Is that the
crit the
second
second
one
one.
today? Are you cheating?
No. No, my initiative was an unnatural 20. I rolled a 14 for my initiative plus 6.
You know what's unnatural is the amount of 20s that happen in your rolling. So,
and me here to... This is my first natural 20.
just
of
tell
the
me
campaign.
the pain.
I'm ready. It's a lot of pain. I'm gonna have to do math really fast, and
we're
I'm
too
so
gay
sorry
for
about how long
this.
that's gonna take me. Okay, the first one. Oh god, I'm so sorry in advance. Okay. That's going to be 16 points of piercing damage for the first attack with my dread ambusher. I'm going to do sneak attack damage on these as well because since I have advantage on the roll, I do my sneak attack. So that's 16 for the first one plus an additional 8. So 16 plus 8 for the first roll. And then would you like me to roll double dice for my crit?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the first attack. The crit is going to be... 23 points of piercing for the second attack.
Is
And
that
then
with
any-
your sneak attack?
That's all with sneak attack, yeah. I rolled 2 1s on my first sneak attack damage. Cry.
Damn. Okay. Yeah. You fucked it up. Do you want to describe how those sink into its toothy maw?
Yeah, I think it's like on like both of the arrows like go like right into its like into the corners of its gums, I think. Like specifically in a place that X would be like there's an artery right there. Like they know exactly where to hit
Oh,
to
yeah.
cause the most amount of pain, damage, and like bleed essentially. And their aim is true as hell.
Yeah. There's
And they
definitely
let both of those arrows go.
It's some sort of really avant-garde dentist scenario, and you've released the
I've done a
tonsils.
dentist before, yeah.
You in real life, or X has a dentist background?
No. X has been a dentist before, I think.
I see what you're saying, and I don't like it. Anyway, is that your turn?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, and also you were prone, so when you flew out. So do you get up from that?
Yes, I do.
I should have asked that first. Sorry, Baru. What's up? You are also prone.
Oh, even though I succeeded in my save,
Yeah, that was just to not take damage.
I take damage. Okay. Yeah. Baru will like roll over on their front and then push himself up to stand up straight. And glances over at Star up in the tower. And as they do that, you see Star reactivate. You see the sigils around on their body, and their eyes glow gold. And I am going to and Star takes their action right after me. They have a separate initiative, and it's always after me. So my thing is that I'm going to turn to this creature, and I think I also don't look phased, but for very different reasons. I think I'm just very interested in this thing. I'm staring hard at it. Do I know anything about purple worms? Do I need to roll anything?
Yeah, if you think you've taken talked about them in a class previously, or anything like that, you can do history, or
yeah. I was in. Would this be a Witherbloom thing? Because I did
probably
take some Witherbloom classes earlier on.
Mm-hmm.
So. That is 24.
24. So what kind of stuff were you trying to recall about it?
I think specifically I'm trying to recall if it's blind.
It is blind. They rely on vibrations to sense targets, like in Tremors.
Okay. In that case,
what else did you want to know? I feel like a 24 will get you a couple
yeah,
calls, or I can throw out something random if you don't have anything specific.
Yeah, anything random I'm down to. Down for that.
But yeah, they have
Something
blind
creative.
sight for 30 feet and tremor sense for 60 feet. They also you also remember they have a stinger. So besides their bite and being able to swallow, they have a pretty vicious stinger that also is poisonous.
Okay.
Connie, what?
What? Everyone else is also making consternated looking faces.
But you're
I would just like to say.
other GM at the table.
I
think I've done something wrong.
You haven't. I'm terrified for us in a fun way.
In a fun way.
Baru stares at this creature and then backs up when they remember that this thing is blind. And then you see their eyes glow almost they glow gold, a similar gold to the eyes of Star. And I'm going to cast Mind Sliver on this thing.
Okay.
It has to make a intelligence saving throw.
Okay. Its intelligence is 1 and it has a -5.
No, they auto fail then, because that's a -5. My DC's a 17, so they can, if they get a crit, that's the only way for them to succeed.
Worm know how learn. Worm only eat dirt.
So I guess
I did not get a crit.
Okay. How much damage is that? That's not much, but they take 8 points of psychic damage, and as you see, for everyone else, they just see the Baru's eyes glow for a second and then dim. But I think for this creature, since it's blind, I think what it feels is like very suddenly all of their senses go mute, and they just feel an overbearing presence above them, and then it just disappears and everything returns back to normal, and that's the psychic damage. And also until the next saving throw they take, they have to minus a 1d4 from it.
Okay.
And that will end at the end of my next turn.
I love
So if they make a save before then, that will fire off at an end.
I love it. Okay, and Star.
Star is gonna make a beeline. You just see them just suddenly wake up and just start making just sprints. I think I'll do it. They're gonna jump down from the tower, and make a beeline for this one.
Okay. What is it?
I'll take 4 damage. I think it's like
is it
1d6 per 10 feet.
per 10 feet? Okay.
Yeah.
2 fall damage for Star.
And yeah, they make a beeline for where? How far away is the worm from Star?
Well, it's.
Right.
I actually misspoke earlier. It's 20 by 20 feet, so I think she can make it pretty easily.
Okay. Yeah. So you just see this enormous construct start charging towards the purple worm and drawing its warhammer as it slams it into its side and deals
Damn.
and I'm gonna I didn't clear on my turn, so I'm not gonna do that. That is 18 to hit.
Yeah, that means.
Okay, that is 14 points of bludgeoning damage as they slam their warhammer into the side of this creature.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
And then raises, and then you see them pull off their shield and hold it in front of them as they prepare for another attack for the next turn.
Beautiful. Next we have Chorus. Chorus is not interested in this at all. And is a little bit of a punk. So sees this, looks around, sees y'all fighting this, and goes, fuck that. And casts Vortex, gets it from the prone position and then casts Vortex Calculus, which allows him to teleport along with any equipment he's wearing or carrying to an unoccupied space it can see within 60 feet. So he teleports out of the bubble and then just starts booking it with what's left of his movement.
Don't
my
blame
God.
him.
But
honestly.
also when he does that, anyone within a 20-foot space of him has to make a con saving throw or take 2d6 force damage. So I think he completely ignores who might be in that space, and there are like several spectators that were standing here that he lands between, and they just get like knocked back in like this huge energy pulse, and he doesn't check on them. He just fucking runs off. And those people are have been injured, and I think one of them managed to like stay on their feet and is checking on the others. Not your biggest problem right now, but Chorus is an asshole is the point. Oh, is it the worm's turn?
No.
Oh my goodness. All right. Is Star closest?
Star is in melee, yeah.
And then who else hit it?
X just hit it in the mouth really hard.
Yeah, but you're kind of far away, right? Or no, I guess you're just 15 feet away. Yeah, I think maybe it considers Star for a moment. But it doesn't really have a nose, but it considers Star for a second and then goes, no, that's some broccoli. Like, I want some filet mignon, and then turns to X, and is gonna go in, I think lurches out and sort of files around you, and it's shaking the ground as it encircles you, and then it's gonna whip around the tail stinger to try and hit you. Okay. Does a 32 hit?
Vanna, fuck you for that.
Good God.
Okay, you take 16 piercing damage as the stinger of the tail just pierces through your shoulder, I think. And then you also need to make a Constitution saving throw to see if you take this poison damage.
A handsome 2. Con is my dub stat.
You take 39 poison damage.
I'm down.
Wait, you're
By how
10
much?
HP?
You're down
Don't
by
you
how
have a
much?
10
How much?
HP?
It's temp HP.
I have I was at 27 out of 48 temp HP, which is my max. So an extra 36 will put me down to, let's see, 36
25.
damage. Yeah, negative 25 healing. I'm good. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry,
I'm down.
I have a plan. Don't worry, I have a plan on my turn.
Okay. Stag would do this anyway because she has no brain. I'm gonna use my reaction to activate my spirit shield. So when an ally that is within 30 feet of me takes damage, I can use my reaction to reduce it by 2d6. It's not gonna be enough, but Stag's gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
So she's in the middle of like trying to get up from being prone, and sees the stinger shoot out, and her eyes widen, and she just lets out a very urgent and for the first time terrified word, X. And she like flings her axe out sideways, and exploding downward from her arm, like wrapping around it with spirit energy, you all see the form of like a dancing lion that it shoots down the length of the pole, down the head of the axe, and explodes outward like a translucent stone lion with a huge maw. And it like gallops across the battlefield and moves in front of you, like to absorb some of the blow. So I think the stinger passes through its ghostly body anyway, but it slows it down by a little bit. Even though it's not going to be enough to prevent you from dropping to 0, Stag would do it anyway.
Still very cool and gay, so.
That was an 8, so I guess a negative 17.
Could I get my reaction out before I'm dead?
Yeah.
Yeah. As I think the stinger cuts through X's body, they jerk. And then they grab the stinger that's like coming out the front of them, and they say, "No mercy." And I'm going to cast Hellish Rebuke at 2nd level. So I will just, it needs to make a Dex 13 save.
It failed.
Beautiful. It is going to take 3d10 fire damage, which is going to be 19 points of fire damage total.
Okay, so you're about to go down, but as you do, what does that hellish rebuke look like?
As X like grabs onto the stinger inside their own body and says "no mercy," it's almost like their entire body for half a moment is engulfed in complete flames, which like burns the stinger that's still inside them. Like their whole body just kind of goes up in flames, and they go limp against the stinger.
Okay. High or low?
Hi.
When you do that, the end of the worm's body that grips in the stinger sears, and the stinger falls off.
Fuck yeah, it does.
And is left
Let's
inside
go.
you. And it's through your shoulder, so not your tum-tum. Not the tum-tum.
I'm being so brave. I have such a stomachache right now.
You really do.
X is being so brave about it.
Connie, on Stag's turn, is there anything else that she can do other than the shield guardian?
That was just my reaction.
Oh, perfect.
So she has a whole turn.
Perfect.
left.
Let's
Yeah.
go. It is your turn.
Oh my god. Okay. First things first, I use half of my movement to get up from prone. That leaves me 20 feet left. I'm gonna rush over to where X is, 15 feet away from me, and I'm just gonna look like, X, hey, and like sort of like kneel down and check. Can I do any sort of like medicine check? Would I know that X is okay because of the temp HP? Like, is it obvious?
Well, X isn't okay. Because once you blow through the temp HP, you start going through your regular HP.
Okay.
And in a regular game of Mage Tower, if you're down, they would stop hitting you. But the worm has 1 intelligence and does not know of Mage Tower.
So we think. So
you would see that X is actually injured. The magic of the field did what it could, but it was surpassed the limits of what it was meant for.
In that case, I assume my rage has worn off because it's been a minute since we started Mage Tower, correct?
Yeah, I mean, but the worm thing happened like immediately afterwards, so
Did everything happen in the span of 60 seconds or less?
I don't know. What's time even, man?
Basically,
high or low?
Low.
You're still raging.
Okay, that's fine.
The
I think the rage
adrenaline from the game straightened to be swallowed by a giant poo-poo pee-pee cervix. Really, it keeps the blood pumping.
That was beautiful. Thank you, Vana. Yeah, I think the rage had simmered down a little bit. So little like ghostly wisps of what seemed to be almost like steam or some kind of spiritual energy rolling off of Stag's pauldrons, like mist off the surface of a foggy river. And as like we just see her with her back turned, hunched over X. And then there's a moment where they just say, kind of quietly, but their voice rings out to address the rest of their allies. I need a medic over here. For 2 things. And the spiritual energy explodes off of her, and like we see that lion like come off of her cape again as she draws that axe and tries to hit like the back tail end of the worm that's still there, which I assume is still within melee, because it's just the stinger that broke off. Yep. So she's gonna recklessly attack and use her she's just going for damage. She's going for broke. So let's see what she gets. Oh, that fell off. It fell off again. Shoot. Okay, that wouldn't hit. That was a 15 for the first one.
No
That's
dice.
okay. I have another attack. No! Wait. The first one was actually a 17? No, okay, never mind. Neither her attacks hit. That sucks.
I think Stag is just very distracted.
yeah, maybe she's just really angry. So she's just like using her axe and just pummeling into this thing, trying to hack through its armor, but it's not working. But she's just like, her eyes are not seeing. It's like she's back in the hole. She's just not seeing anything except just anger. And she's just letting out a, you stupid worm thing! She's just like hammering that blade down, trying to find like the segmented places, and it's just glancing off with these bright, great sparks.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything with your bonus action?
I was gonna rage if my rage was down, but that's it.
Double
I can't do
rage.
anything else.
Zero. Bring us home.
All right. I'm just going to attack it with my Eldritch Blasts. Goody. Hopefully a good one. I shouldn't jinx it.
That's rolled a hit, right?
No, Liv, no.
Is this good or bad? What's happening?
I got 2 17s. I rolled 2 11s. I'm gonna fucking lose it.
Me too.
Liv, the player. I'm gonna go into a rage.
All right. May I, on behalf of my beloved Liv, who I love so much, make an argument? Can I bring a point to the GM?
Yes. I'll
Would
allow
its
it.
armor class have gone down since the stinger got cut off? Since part of its body was removed? Would the AC have lowered perhaps by one?
Wait, I'm gonna go get a ladder. I'm gonna get a
It's
ladder.
in
my
So my friend
body.
If you are
for
aiming
this
at
reach.
its anus, yes.
I'll blast it in the ass. I'm not
Yeah.
scared.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If
Okay, cool.
if you're ass blasting, it's a 15.
All right, worm actually. That's gonna be a 10, and then that's gonna be a 6. So that's 16 total points of damage. Yeah, but Zero can see everything, and so I think they see the stinger get ripped off, and is kind of doing the same mental math that public defense attorney C had done. Because thank you for that one. That was very kind of you. And so they are going to like lift their finger up, kind of like a moment of like, fuck, I'm really doing this. And then is then going to shoot off their Eldritch Blast, and these bright, again, starting very dark at the tip, and then I shouldn't say tip at this moment, and then ombreing into like a very neon teal. 2 Eldritch Blast beams are going to arc around the field, go in wide, and then hit the worm in the ass.
Can't even get it out. Yeah, I think. Yeah,
I'm a child. I'm sorry.
the open wound, which is now turned its asshole into a super asshole, since the removal of the spike at the end of its tail, gets completely plowed by these
Just
Eldritch
double
Blast.
teaming, raw dogging this worm.
And you can
Not raw dogging. Not raw
Hey,
dogging the
put
worm.
exclamation point sponsors. Find out who we're getting sponsored by for this episode.
Look, you've
I'm
heard
so
of finger
sorry.
blasting. Now
This
get
raw
ready for
dogging
it.
has been sponsored by.
Let me finish. And they meet at the center of that diameter, and there's a pause as the purple worm goes completely still, and you can kind of see this almost imperceptible vibration running through its body, and then there's a moment, and it opens its mouth and just like lets out like a green puff of smoke, and then there's another beat, and it raises up and stiffens, and then it curls around and goes back headfirst into the hole that it came out of. And that is where we're going to take our break. We'll see y'all back here in 10 minutes. I'm so sorry. you're left on the ruins of Aerojaunt Field, which has been completely upturned. It's kind of like, what is those gardening tools where you like stick it in the ground and you like twist it, and it like
Auger?
is that what it is?
An auger?
Is that it? I don't know what that word is.
I don't know what kind of tool I should let you finish.
One of those twisty guys that make the earth go loose. You know, that's what the field looks like.
I think an auger. I think, but I'm not sure. Yeah.
It sounds made up, but I agree. I agree that's the word. And everybody's fine except who's unconscious under the mage tower? Oh, Kadoris is still unconscious under the opponent's mage tower and almost nearly circumcised. And also we have a prone X that is unconscious and rapidly bleeding out from the spine that has stayed stuck in their shoulder throughout the tumult. What do y'all do?
I would rush over to X now that this thing has died back into the ground. And look up. Should I pull it out? I could pull it out. I'm not good at physical. I can heal them, but should I pull it out first, or I'm gonna pull it out?
Yes. And Stag like sheaths their axe immediately as soon as this thing burrowed back into the earth of the stadium and is whirling back on the unconscious X. Get that thing out of their shoulder. I do it myself, but I don't want to cause more damage than is already happening.
Yeah. And I'm gonna try and, as carefully as I can, pull out this stinger. I'm assuming I don't need to roll anything for that, right? No, I'm good.
Yeah, maybe a strength.
Oh no, I'm weak. Okay.
Can I help?
Yeah.
If it seems like
Or
you're just
Oh, that's fine. I rolled a nat
forcibly-
20.
Oh, what is? You're cheating.
You're cheating. You're the one that's cheating.
So in a surprise burst of strength, Baro just one-handed is able to rip this gigantic stinger out of X's shoulder, which causes just this huge jerk of X's limp body.
Sorry. Okay. And I'm gonna place a hand over the wound, and in between, and we never actually make contact.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
No, go ahead.
We never actually make contact, but right between my palm and the wound on X's shoulder, again, you see the sigil appear, and then Cure Wounds in Draconic, and then I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds. And I think this one, you see all of Bari's features become more snake-like in this when they cast this spell. It's different to how they look. Like whenever they cast any other spell, they seem to look fine, but this spell specifically seems to come from their serpentine nature. I'm gonna cast that second level, the TD8. So that's 20 points of healing.
Yeah, so you're back up to 3 HP, right? So how does Ooh, wait, hold on. While you're in this realm of unconsciousness in sort of the veil between life and death, you see another huge hulking figure in front of you, and it reaches out to you. It's wearing a long black robe, and its face is hidden in the folds of it. It's about 15 feet tall. What do you do when it reaches out to you?
X looks up at it with an air of devotion, I think. And they ask, "Is it my time?"
The figure doesn't say anything, but it looks like it's going to grab your wrist delicately, like sort of wrap its long spindly fingers around the bulk of your forearm gently. But then at the last moment, it jerks as hard as it can. And as you're being flung towards the mass of it, that's when you sputter back to life with two of your friends hovering over you.
Wait, so they only healed for 3 HP?
They were negative 17. Is that how that works?
I don't think HP goes into negative.
Oh,
It just says
well,
0
I'm
and then
just
that's it,
doing what Connie and C said.
I was just tracking how much you went over, because if it goes over
Yeah.
to your max HP, you insta die.
You insta die, yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, then you heal for the full 20. The point being, you are now alive again. Congratulations.
And I think you, as you open your, I think you hear like the sound of snakes hissing, and as you open your eyes, that dissipates.
And X kind of like sits up immediately really fast, like they were on their way somewhere already, that their body just kind of catches up with them a second too late.
Oh,
And their eyes kind of flutter open, this like black sclera, this odd ring of white circling their iris, and they blink. Guess not.
guess not.
But you didn't punch me this time. I guess that's an improvement.
Oh. Yes. Did we win?
What?
Did we win the game?
Yeah, but that was like 1,000 years ago.
Oh, good. Should we play the second round now?
X. X. No, the game is over. It ended when that worm thing burst out of the ground. Speaking of which, Zero, did you get a good read on that worm thing? I was just so focused on trying to beat the ever-living daylights out of it that I didn't even... I wasn't even thinking, I guess.
I mean, not me, Liv, the person, did not think of doing that in the moment. But like, Vanna, I study critters and creatures.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a Witherbloom student. So
What are you trying to ascertain, or Connie, what are you suggesting Ciro should ascertain?
Well, Stag knows that Ciro's a Witherbloom student and assumes Ciro has really good proficiency with creatures and
yeah.
nature. So it's just sort of like, what is up with that big creature?
Yeah.
which was going to be what I was going to ask of, like, I'm assuming purple worms are not native to our floating campus, or our, I don't know if this campus floats,
Floating?
but like our
No,
street-
it does not float.
No.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
so
we're all kind of
sorry.
floating, I suppose,
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you think about it.
when you think about it.
Yeah, on this flat earth. I'm joking. I promise I'm joking. But yeah, no, I think Ciro's kind of like racking their mind for like, why would a purple worm appear here? Is that even possible?
Roll history with advantage or nature, whichever you
I will
prefer.
take nature
Okay.
with advantage. Okay. That's going to be an 18.
Ooh, that's a good roll.
Mhm.
So this is strange behavior for a purple worm, because typically a purple worm does not repeat its pathing. So once it goes a direction, it does not go back again like
Oh,
you saw
yeah.
it do.
Mhm.
And typically it just keeps moving forward, which is why so many like underdwelling peoples and creatures are able to just safely use the tunnels that they leave behind, because that's the safest place to be when a purple worm
Yeah.
is around, is in their wake.
Mhm.
And the other thing, this is kind of erroneous, but you think of it, because that's how brains work. You recall that the paths of purple worms are also often mined as in a sense for jewels, because they're a bulk of their nutrition comes from dirt, but they can't process like hard gems and things like that, so they get passed through the body and are left in the tunnels behind. That's, I don't know how relevant that is to anything, but
yeah. I think like Sarah's kind of thinking about that. I think they'd like flutter down from the tower and like join the rest of the group. Just, it's odd. It's very, very odd that it went back. Purple worms don't circle back. They very much move forward in one direction only. So while, yes, we put up as good of a fight as we possibly can, a purple worm wouldn't get scared off.
Huh.
That's the weirdest thing. Besides initial attack, of course.
Maybe it was intimidated by all of us kicking its ass, you know? Those 2 gum shots. Oh, good going, X.
Thank you.
Sarah's gonna cut in immediately and just, well, I mean, you are one of the most intimidating people on campus, Stag. Any creature should run in fear.
I don't know if I'd say that. I don't, but do go on if you don't mind.
I mean, and like Sarah's just gonna motion and speak for yourself.
Honestly, though, I feel like during that fight, I didn't make too much headway. I was just so angry, I guess, hacking away at its carapace. But you say they don't usually retrace their steps. Could it be like, could something have sent it up so it just went back down the same way?
I mean, purple worms don't really get tamed.
Huh.
Maybe something bigger was chasing it.
There's not many things bigger than a purple worm.
Except maybe a god beast.
Ooh, I have a thing for this. Can I use my primeval awareness to expend a ranger spell slot to sense whether any aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fey, fiends, or undead are present within a mile of me?
A mile.
can you say the list slower?
Yes. Aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fey, fiends, or undead. I hope also maybe
Faye is
god
going
beasts?
off because Zero's right next to you. And I think with that you can't pinpoint location, so it's going off, but it could be Zero. It's Zero. It could, at least in part.
Sarah just starts glowing. Like, huh? What?
Oh my god, you're
very loud,
glowing.
Zero.
What was that?
Your presence is very loud. And X kind of like puts their face closer to the ground.
As they're doing that, Sarah just like very flippantly is just like, well, I mean, you know, make a statement. Walk into a room and make a statement. That's what people usually do. People don't usually just walk into a room and stay silent.
Me and Bari just watching in silence, just kind of just sounding, watching the back and forth.
It's a little odd.
Nothing else pings though for a mile.
So it has separate pings for things?
I think so. I would be able to sense whether any of those things were present within a mile.
I don't, well, within campus there's probably a couple of those things, which would also be to be expected. But you
Aurora would
can't,
ping up undead probably.
And you, really?
Isn't Aurora a vampire?
Oh,
Or
Aurora.
vampire?
I thought you said Star for some reason.
Oh no!
And I was
I'd be
like, hey,
terrified.
yo! What a twist. But you can't pinpoint direction?
I cannot pinpoint direction or their location or how many of them there are, just if they exist within. I think the only
okay.
thing X is like trying to ping for specifically would be if there's anything new. I imagine they do this fairly frequently just to like check their surroundings. So it'd be like if there's something that's suddenly around that wasn't before.
I think it's not a ping. I think you're also getting a ping from Stag. right? Because Stag's Dragonborn, in part, aren't you?
No, I'm
Or you
Goliath.
are, or you are
X's.
X.
I am.
Oh, you're pinging yourself. Okay. And there's a couple of like dragon pings, I think, across campus. Partially in it for the reason of Dragonborn students, but also because the just remnant of the founder dragons are probably scattered throughout the campus. Aurora is pinging undead, and there's probably, I think, at least one of the other professors is a full vampire, and there's probably a couple of other students, and there's something else that is like itching. It's like back of the brain itch, but it's not anything you're trained to pinpoint.
Yes, I think there's something else out there too.
Yeah. Well, you know what? This is our campus, our home, our place of study, and this worm thing thinks it can just erupt into the middle of the field and take our well-deserved victory. I didn't even get to see the look on anyone's face when we won. Well, the rest of my afternoon is open. There's a big hole down there.
I
We should
will
probably talk to
once
a
again
professor.
repeat, not that you need me to, but I will repeat that the worm did go back down the hole.
Yeah, because it was scared of us. I mean, we might as well see, like, aren't any of you curious about what's down there? Come on.
Probably gems. There's probably gems.
Yes, I would love to talk to Professor Lachille and see if we can get some people down there to collect the gems, because some of them could be very useful. Power conduits or just material in general. I could definitely add some to maybe the sword, the warhammer that Star is using. Maybe use as a new power source, because the current meta cylinder I'm using right now, it seems to have cracks in it and not be able to really hold in the arcane energy that it needs to power Star at the moment. I'm honestly surprised that she survived this fight. I was worried that she was going to spontaneously combust, so I need to probably look in on that. I don't think we should go ourselves, though.
Well, no, I think
I
we
suppose some
definitely
backup.
should go. We should go and not tell any other students, because I bet the soil that is left in the wake of a purple worm is extremely good fertilizer. And don't you want to get the best stones before anybody else does?
I mean,
I've changed my
yes.
mind completely about this plan. I've changed my mind entirely. We should go now.
So
now you're coming around.
So very fittingly, with y'all's passive perception, you see out of the corner of your eye, there's still people milling around, and a lot of people have run off, but a lot of people are still kind of sticking around and trying to get. It's like like a car crash or something like that. People are kind of drawn to it. But you see Rosie running from off field. At some point, she vacated the tower that she was on, apparently, and went somewhere and has come back, and she's running. She's just a little gnome that is similarly dressed to Baru, actually, like very sort of like tiny steampunk baby, and is running back to the field with alarming speed. She should not be able to go that fast. And then paces and paces behind her is Professor Loshiel, who is one of the primary professors for Lorehold. And they are walking. They're not in any hurry whatsoever. And she's also followed by a small menagerie of mechanical beings that are trotting and wobbling and wriggling beside her and heading in the direction of the field.
You see Bards
Well.
waving ecstatically.
Friends, the only glory lost is glory not seized. So I'm with Zero here. I do think, we were the ones that beat that thing back into the earth, which was a blast, by the way, casualties aside. I think we'd be remiss if we relinquished our dibs.
It's true. It's true. First come, first serve.
I'm also just going to mention that Aurora and Kataros are still unconscious.
Jaysha.
Yep, Aurora's
Jaysha,
floating,
while
so
we're taking
Aurora's
care of
gonna.
things-
I'm gonna lower Aurora down.
Okay.
Because I had them levitating with my levitate spell, so they just gently fall back to the ground.
Okay. I think when you put them down, Gavin comes up and places a firm hand on Aurora's shoulder, and she disappears, which is maybe a little startling in the current context, but in the context of the field still being powered, she's gone back to like respawn at the tower. And then behind you, you also see Seven Hearts crouch down by Cadoris and shake his head at something, and then just give him a little pat on the ankle, and also Cadoris disappears.
Perfect.
X is kind of like thumbing. I think there's a hole in their shirt, and underneath you could see like the red scaled skin. And there's also like at the top of their shoulder what seems to be like a scar, just a tiny one that kind of disappears into the rest of their clothes where it's not as torn. And they're just kind of like playing with the fringed edge of their cut open shirt. They're at like half health, so they look rather raggedy still. But they look up and they go, "Yes, I'd like to go."
Are we? Is the half health temp HP because X was knocked down to 0 of temp HP? So would they be at full health of regular HP, or are they at half health of regular?
I think they're at half health of regular.
Okay.
Because once that temp HP is gone, it's gone, or it has to be replaced by a new temp HP spell, and the field again is not equipped to do that because this should not be happening.
Okay.
But Loshield does eventually. Rosie is very like anxiously standing at the edge of the field and like looking back, like obvious, like why aren't you moving faster? But Loshield eventually does come up, and you see her do some somatic movements with her hands, and Lochiel is a Loxodon, so she's a large bipedal elephant person, and she does a couple somatic things with her hands, and the shield wasn't visible before, but there is like an effervescence that kind of pulses through it before it disengages, and then she walks out onto the field, not to you all, but she's walking up to the hole to inspect it. So she's nearby, and she starts looking into it and going, kind of mumbling to herself and tisking and giving a couple of orders to the small robots that she's brought along, constructs.
Professor! Hey, good to see you.
Were you ever in Lorehold?
I am a Lorehold student.
Okay, perfect.
Stag
Sorry.
and
Yeah.
Forest
Sorry.
Lorehold.
Yeah.
And Lochiel turns and goes, young Mystagog, hello. I trust you all are well. Her eyes linger on X.
We could appreciate a little bit of a top off here. And Stag throws out an arm and actually like places it, drapes it across your shoulders, X, to indicate you.
Oh, yes, no problem at all. And she gestures to one of the small bots, one of the small constructs, and it's kind of like I want to say spider, but it's not scary. It's kind of cute. And it just has a lot of legs. And it skitters across the ground and then up onto your shoulder, and then it starts doing sort of like a weaving across the place where you were punctured. And when it finishes there, it also stitches up the hole in your clothes. And then it kind of pauses there for a second and then taps you twice on the shoulder and then skitters down and runs away, and you're full HP now. Now, I have not seen a hole this big since the dig that we did in the desert. Was that 5 years ago? She's talking out loud, mostly to herself, but...
Baru has scooped up one of the constructs that like follow the show around, and it's kind of like messing around with it, being like, how you doing, buddy? How's the new ball joining for your leg? And like just checking the bits
Yeah.
and pieces of the construct as
What
they
is
walk
that
over to the
construct's
show.
function?
I think it's kind of like 'cause I assume Rose probably gave at least a very much a basic lowdown of what was going on to the show. So maybe it's like a little droid that's made for moving rubble, just in
Yeah.
case they thought for whatever reason they would need to do that.
Mhm.
It's kind of like a very kind of short, stout bot with like very powerful but tiny
Mhm.
robot made for pushing around rubble. So you kind of see like the heft and like you see Barry struggle to pick it up, but manage to anyway. And is honestly messing, like holding it up like a baby, kind of like putting it in his arms, like holding it up, yeah, and checking its joints and stuff as they walk over to the shore, and just says, it looked like it was a purple worm, and as he says that, he looks to Ciro, for confirmation because he's not sure. Like a purple worm.
I'm gonna make the executive decision that Zero has, while you all were talking, Zero has like zipped over and is flying, like hovering, not in the hole, but very much like hovering above it, and it's already like gathering up. Takes their gloves off and is gathering up dirt. Is like fully like sniffing it. It's a little. It's a. I don't think you all get to see Ciro in their work mode, but it is a little reminiscent of, oh my god, what was her name? The turtle.
Valmora?
Valmora. It's a little reminiscent of that, of just like very much into this dirt and trying to figure out like the dirt, and looks up, yes, it was a purple worm, indeed.
I would come away from there.
Okay.
You know, the giant gaping hole in the ground that a monstrosity just came out of. Maybe don't.
Well, they don't
hover
go reverse. And
so where did it go then?
It went back down. I don't think it'll turn around. There's no room.
It need only make a new tunnel for it to turn around.
Professor, we were actually talking because this worm did disrupt our play, and we think maybe something else is going on here. Well, my afternoon is clear if it needs to be. We were thinking maybe we could delve in and take care of this for Strix.
I just wanted to take some of the gems and use it for further constructs. Some emeralds.
We don't know if there's gems
would...
down there, Baru. Like, don't make assumptions.
Wait, why are we going then? Why am I'm not
for
going.
Research purposes, have you ever researched a huge giant purple worm?
I don't really care for them. No.
I don't
could just go
recall
to Lucio's workshop.
Graduate thesis being on such a project, young Mystagogue.
Well, you know, my graduate thesis is about glorious battles of yore, and what better place to get hands-on experience than to participate in a glorious battle of not yore.
You know, most people would utilize the library.
Well, most people aren't me, Professor. I flash a winning smile.
Do you want to give me a...
Oh, Jesus.
I actually, wait, before this, Ciro is going to zip over and just, Ciro Lily Twill Witherbloom. So my thesis is actually on, and starts explaining, I think in detail, like overwhelming detail, the intricacies of Ciro's plant-based research and why this soil is so important. And I mean truly over-explaining to what is essentially a history professor. And then follows it up at the very end with, and since Stag and I are such good friends, they volunteered to be my escort in this endeavor. And we're taking the rest of our roommates too. Sample collecting.
I think, so one of you needs to roll, and whoever rolls will get advantage, since you're both sort of trying
Our
to...
warlock, please.
Lay
Our
on the
charisma
charm.
based caster, please.
I can roll. Deception, or it's not deception, it's
Well,
persuasion.
Yeah,
I'm
then
telling the truth.
Yeah, it's up to you.
It is my.
You
it is
tell
my
me if you're
research.
lying. I don't know. I'll believe
No.
anything.
Oh fuck yeah, that's a 21.
A 21. You say this, and Loshil is considering you, and then looks back at Baru, and over at X. I will authorize this field trip if you take care of filling the hole.
With dirt?
With what? I don't care. Restore the field to a working condition. But I was going to have to do it, and I don't want to. So,
That is understandable. Truly work beneath you.
as all work should be, I do not live to work. I work to live.
We do not dream of labor.
Exactly.
Here. Even the stag is so clear she has no idea what any of that means. Like, labor justice means nothing to her.
So,
Oh,
you can do what you want. I'll sign off if you want to go in the wormhole. But when you're done, you have to fix Aerojaunt.
Understood. I think we can do that quite easily. Believe me, Professor, filling holes is... She... There's a pause and she just smiles again. A specialty of mine.
Young Mystagog, I do not need to know of your extracurricular activities.
I'm just kidding, Professor. I'm just kidding.
Like, Sarah just laughs, so the joke is still funny.
And I think Loshil gives you a withering look, but beneath it is definitely like a smarmy expression. But she's trying to be professorly, you know. She turns to Baru and goes, "Are you joining this expedition?"
I guess you're all nodding. Should I say yes? I mean, if there are precious gems down there, I think they'll be very useful, like I said, for power conduits. But if there are none, I guess
that's
I'll just stay
part
up
of
top
the
side.
operation.
So there are gems. I'm so lost.
I mean, if
Baru's coming with.
Okay.
I was going to put you in charge, but now I'm confused.
I'm only interested in the gems because it could be used to power more constructs and maybe replace the one I'm using for Star. If there are gems down there, I will gladly come along. I'm not interested in the soil or the worm itself.
She turns to Ciro and is like, "I don't know you, but you seem to have the best grasp on the goals and intentions of this trip. So
I did write my third year paper on oh my god, not extraterrestrial. What is
subterranean.
that? What is it?
Subterranean?
Subterranean creatures. I did.
So I will be putting you in charge, and I expect if anything does not go according to plan, that it will be reported to not me, but somebody.
I promise you will hear no head or tail of it.
But somebody should. Not me, but
Somebody will know. Somebody will know.
Preferably a faculty member.
Yeah.
A faculty member.
A faculty member.
That is not me.
That is not you.
You're a quick learner. I'll leave some bots behind to help you with the task at the end of your journey. And she waves, and there's like just a series of those boulder constructs that you were playing with before, Baru, that sort of just file off to the side of the field and just wait for instruction. Please see that they are returned to me intact. Well, if you need some climbing equipment, there might be some in the outbuildings. Otherwise, you'll have to improvise.
I'm good.
well, I was speaking generally
Oh,
to all of you. There might be some in one of the old sport outbuildings here, but again, not my problem. I'm going to go have a cup of tea and read a sexy novel. And she wanders off with
Love that
several
for
of
you.
the constructs following behind her.
Oh, I recommend the Romance of the Starborn Rogues series. It's very good.
Noted, she says over her shoulder.
Yeah. Stag's big, cheerful smile persists until the professor is like actually out of sight, and then it just drops into like a very serious kind of eager expression. And Stag is very much like a teacher's pet, kind of like in the sense that she like is kind of smarmy and ingratiates herself to the faculty. You know, and I feel like she has definitely been in a position with this specific professor where she's like negotiated for a passing grade instead of an F, like skate by on like nights, bringing dinner over and like complimenting her and all that stuff.
Yeah, it just for context, like if you are in that position and you just offer to do any work that Lochiel is supposed to do herself, like she's pretty easy to convince. Like she just wants to do as little work for as much reward as possible. So she's pretty easily swayed by those sorts of things.
everything Baru has that relationship with her as well. He probably works on some of the constructs in her stead, or
Right.
I know that
Just
Professor
does
Shaw
repairs
often doesn't.
or yeah.
Yeah, like if I'm reading it right, she often doesn't even come to the actual like classes. She has
No,
a
she's one of
constructor
the
that displays
she's
her
one of the
faces.
teachers that puts on like a movie.
Yeah. So like every so often you definitely have like Baru at the front of the class fixing the contract that's projecting
Yeah.
Lucio's
Yeah,
face.
yeah. Or just running the class. You're just a TA.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So y'all have been left. A lot of the other teammates are scattered. The other team has picked up their teammates from the respawn at the opposite mage tower, but they still look like they're taking them off somewhere, maybe to double check that they're okay at the infirmary, and they're wandering off. I think Xanther gives y'all, who is still there because he was very genuinely worried about all of you that entire time, kind of stands on the sidelines and nervously watches you for a bit and then goes to move forward to you and then thinks better of it and decides to mind his business and go away. But he did show genuine concern for you. And Grayson disappeared at some point. You don't know when. And most of the audience has dispersed, especially once Lochiel showed up and took down the field because they were like, oh, faculty's here. Like, it's resolved. So you are left to your own devices. What do you do?
Are you all ready?
Oh, you know me, Zero. Always ready.
Cyril is gonna zip off and start bringing over climbing equipment for us.
Okay, so there's two outbuildings. There's one to the southwest of the field and there's one to the southeast of the field. Which one do you check?
Whichever one's closest, I guess. Like maybe
They're pretty
south-
equidistant because you're at the center of the field and they're both on one side of
That's fair. Southwest.
southwest. Okay, yeah, you go in there. Give me an investigation check.
Okay. That is a 16.
A 16. You it's pretty dusty in there. Again, this is a outdated building and field, so it's not seeing like current use. But what you find in there is mostly silk ball, old silk ball outfits, and also old gymnastics like outfits. So it's kind of like when we look back at like the 80s workout wear, like it's the Arcavios equivalent to that, and they're actually pretty. Maybe you have a wee chuckle at what you find there, and then also at the bottom of one of those trunks, you find a cloak of displacement.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I'll pocket that.
yeah, so it's, I guess in the moment you don't know what it is, but you do
Mhm.
feel a magical energy coming from this object, and then above game, what it is a cloak
Yeah.
of displacement. So, but you don't see any climbing gear.
Okay, well, I'll pocket that, and then I guess I'll go check the other storage
Sure.
space.
Is anyone
Yeah.
else doing anything while Ciro is rummaging around in the southwest outbuilding?
X has gone back up our mage tower to retrieve Bogdog, who was
Ah.
wrapped in their scarf. And as they get up there, they kind of kneel down in front of Bogdog once again and pat it twice on the head, because it's wrapped up in like the baby Bjorn of
Mhm.
their scarf. And they run their fingers over some of the runes and they say, probably shouldn't have left this with you. And then they take the entire baby Bjorn and like sling Bogdog onto their back like he's a backpack. And then they come back down the tower like they're ready to go.
I'm not even gonna ask for an animal handling, because who would not want to be slung in a baby Bjorn on X's back? I volunteer as tribute. So yeah, Bogdog is just happily like snuffling behind you, and then is a bit discomforted. Like, I think they really snuggled up, like nested in the scarf when you left them there, very oblivious to whatever was going on, and show a little bit of discomfort when you readjust them. But as soon as that placement is set, they wiggle around, find the right spot, and settle back in and do some like just snuffling, sort of like pig noises. Anyone else?
Hey,
Oh.
you found a friend.
A friend?
Yeah, the trophy slung around your back. You keeping it for like keepsies? A nice
Well, yeah,
memento
that's
of the
the point.
victory?
Of the game. I can't give it back to the other team. Or else we'll
Technically-
lose, so
Oh, we already won.
I read the
X,
rules.
Game's over. Oh. Nice. But I'm pretty sure that thing is someone's pet. But hey, if they don't know it's gone, who's gonna miss it?
and they shouldn't have made it a trophy then.
That is fair. Shouldn't dangle something as a prize if you don't want someone else to come looking for it.
Baru
True.
says, well, maybe they were lied to and their pet was stolen and it wasn't their choice to be a prize. As you see them working, like they're opening up the chest cavity of Star to check on the cylinder powering it. Maybe they thought that it was going to be part of the team instead of a thing that the other team has to steal from the tower, dehumanizing it and making a mockery of their work.
Don't worry, Bar.
But-
I would have never let anyone take a Star 13.
Well, I didn't want Star 13 to be in that position in the first place. I've worked for way too many years on this for it to just become a thing for people to throw around on a field. In a game that is frankly very boring. It was very easy. I'm not entirely sure why anyone enjoys playing this.
Oh yes, of course.
I'm not there. Never mind.
Yeah, you're in a field. You're in a
I am
tower
not
or
there.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course, because you know your taste is universal.
Well, it should be.
Oh, I mean, obviously.
Why do you find it fun? I don't get it. It makes very little sense to me. You hit each other with weapons until they drop the item that is probably precious to somebody on the team, and you just keep doing that.
Oh, well, the answer is pretty easy. Baru, I'm surprised you can't see it. It's because it's fun to win.
I don't get
Is that
it.
something you're familiar with? Winning?
I don't really participate in competitions. So no, I don't really seek it.
Yeah, well, stick around me, stick around this hole, stick around Zero, and maybe you'll get a taste for it. Maybe Star will too.
You keep talking about Star like the living being.
But they're kind of humanoid-ish.
Yes, I shaped them that way, but there's no living in it.
So, hold on, I'm confused. Then why are you so upset that we use Star as a trophy?
Because it's my creation that I worked on for years and I wasn't given permission. Why wouldn't I be upset about that?
Okay,
like
so it's not the
having-
fact that Star is like sentient or sapient or whatever, but the fact that you
no.
made this thing and you didn't want it to get taken by someone else.
Yes.
Okay, all right, cool. I'm glad we understand now. Well, you know what, Baru? I can promise you that in the future, if and when you do assist us in Mage Tower again, even if Star is the trophy, even if they are the prize, we won't let anyone take them, like, permanently.
I'm not playing ever again. Neither is Star. But thank you for the
Really?
offer. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Such a shame. Such a shame.
And with that
Well.
clarified, we'll cut to Ciro, who is now traipsing over to the southeast outbuilding. And Ciro, when you go in there, you don't need to do a check. There is very obviously much smaller, but a whole board in the center of that outbuilding into the ground. And the rest of the room is in disarray. There was a couple trunks in there, and it looks like a few have been y'all a few have been turned out. A few have been turned
Sorry,
out, and the
Arcavios.
contents have been scattered about.
Sorry.
Maybe X, you have followed Ciro into that second outbuilding, and you see this.
I would say so, yeah.
You say this.
Yeah,
you see
yeah,
the same scene, with the smaller hole, but similarly bored, and then the room in disarray, which it is an older building, and things get carelessly put aside, but it's more as if a great rummaging has occurred recently.
X tilts their head a little bit, like this again approximation of curiosity, the expression they're supposed to make. Did a second purple worm come through here? A smaller one?
I definitely. Okay, I'm gonna investigate this, but can I do like an insight check on X's expressions to see how true they actually are?
Yeah, that's up to
Because there's a lot of.
Go for it.
So
Okay.
roll an opposing. Roll. Well, I don't even know. I guess it's up to you if X is trying to be deceptive or just trying to.
Can I roll stealth?
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, then it's definitely not gonna work.
Assimilate.
Roll code switching. It's
Roll
not exactly that, but-
masking. What did you get, Liv?
What did
It doesn't matter what they rolled. I rolled a 9.
Well, it does
I
matter.
I rolled
then.
a
call for it.
25?
Oh gosh. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what
I
is
think-
what
I
does
mean-
Sierra see when they kind of try and discern X's intentions?
I think it's gonna go the opposite way. Like, I think Sarah was trying to see if I think Zero does feel a little bit off about X because they are very good at reading people, right? They're a people person.
Zero is good at reading people.
Most of the time, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, but Zero is good at reading people. And so I think that they misread it entirely and do like a double take back at the whole. Because I think a 25 versus 9 means Zero thinks that X sees something that Zero doesn't see. That X is like the expert in the room.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that.
Like instead of being like, that's fake curiosity, that's like, oh, they're enlightened. Like they're looking with their special
Their
eye.
third eye just opened and they have perceived the fifth dimension.
Yeah.
I feel like it makes a lot of sense because the only thing, like, the thing about X's expressions is that they're very much a mirror. Like, it's very much like they saw somebody else make a face of deep interest and expression, and they're mimicking it perfectly.
So
it's like a mirror or a mimicry of somebody's expression. They don't
Right.
actually know what's going on here. They just know how to make the perfect face of how interesting
Right.
this is.
It is a mirror of Ciro's expertise in the given situation.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so that's what you garner. What is your response?
Because you said, because X said, do you think there's a second purple worm?
Mhm.
Right. And I think Zero trying to keep up, or at least in their mind, thinking that they need to keep up. It's like, well, I mean, it's a possibility. It's always a possibility. Anything is possible in the world of nature. And is going to go and try to, I'm going to say investigate, but pray to God I can use nature for my check.
Yes, please
Not
use.
pray to God,
please
pray to
use,
Vana. Cool.
Please use nature. Yes,
Okay, cool.
I am benevolent.
Is X helping with this at all, or?
I would love to help.
Sure.
Yay, thank you. Okay, that's gonna be 23.
23. And are you just investigating like the hole or the whole room or like a chest or anything specific?
I think I'm gonna investigate the hole, and I think I'm looking for it's like I am looking for the natural markings of a purple worm. Like, are the ridges of the hole shaped in the same way that purple worm holes are? Because I imagine that, like, since they don't travel backward by nature, typically, people are able to go in and like get very, very thorough, like forensics essentially on the holes. And so I think I'm looking for those natural patterns, the bite marks and the way the hole is shaped and everything.
Yeah, I think you can definitely see those ridges, though they do seem a bit obscured, which could imply that it did go back the way it came. But the most telling sign is the residual like mucus on the hole's edges. But
and
obviously it's a juvenile.
Yeah. Would I know if purple worms usually travel as packs?
I don't know that personally, so don't ask.
Okay. Worm.
It's either normal or not. So
worm. You know what? Maybe that'll be Ciro's thesis. Maybe they'll change their entire thesis. And
worm
say purple worms.
family. Worm family.
Yeah. Worm. The family.
Wait, what's Vin Diesel's thing? I got worm.
That's just it. That's the
Anyway, what else y'all do in that room? I got wormly.
I got worm. Yeah, no, I think Ciro then looks at X and is like, well, it's definitely a juvenile. It's definitely a younger worm. Potentially it's child, but there's not many studies really about worms and how they migrate if they all travel together. But again, it does look like this one went backwards, which is very alarming. Because a lot of subterranean communities make their homes in the path of worms because purple worms never go backwards. It's the safest place to be. So now this is concerning, because if there are worms going backwards, there could be entire communities that get uplifted, which maybe I'm thinking too far ahead, but it is now but I do
So
really
instead
wanna
of
go down
looking
that
for
hole.
dirt, we should probably go down and hunt the worm down to see what's going on.
I don't think we could take the worm.
Oh, I will.
Says the one person who got killed by it.
Yeah, Ciro
Shush,
just,
Vana. They have a vendetta now.
Ciro just looks at the gaping hole, the like hole in your uniform.
Well, the construct did fix that, but you can look at
Okay.
where it were at.
Where worm at?
Where
and I
worm
think Ciro-
at?
and I think Ciro's just gonna like tap it very just like just right. You can. Sure you can.
And just with passive perception too, since everything has been forcibly removed from the trunks and crates in here, you can see that lying around is mage tower equipment. Again, outdated from a different time. The dust is kicked up in here, so a lot of it's in the air and refracting the light in a hazy way. And you can also see like equipment from the climbing club, and what's another sport? Something else.
Football.
Tennis racket.
Why did I wanted to keep saying football? I just wanted to say football. I want to say canonically, the sport with the little tiny rackets and the little
Badminton?
Yeah, badminton exists in Arcavios. It's canon now.
Yay.
And some badminton nets have been kind of strewn aside.
So it looks like this worm came out, did a whole bunch of stuff, and then went back down.
I'm just saying you don't have to look for the equipment you were looking for. It is,
Oh, okay, cool.
but you
Good.
know, glean whatever you like from what I've said.
I think that's what Ciro is taking away and filing in the back of their mind. Which again, concerning.
I almost said, I keep saying people's real names. Barwood Stag, are y'all doing anything while the two of them are in the outbuilding?
Has the temp HP worn off yet because the professor dismissed the shield?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm at full of normal health.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Then in that case, Stag is starting to prep the circumference of the hole for us to descend into. She has some rope. So I think she's just gonna she's taken rope out of her pack and has leashed, tied one end of it onto a protruding rock and has dropped the rest of the 50 feet down into the hole.
I didn't tell you how deep the hole was.
The rope is.
Well,
50.
either way, she's dropping
the
50 feet of. Yeah.
50 feet, that's child's play.
I figure, but yeah.
Cool. So you're just sort of prepping the area. Baru, are you doing anything?
This is all just flavor, but Baru has Star is sat down so they're more close to Baru's level, and they've removed the chest plate, and they reach for the earring, and as they put again like I mentioned last episode, it looks like it's connected, so when they move the head it swings if it is connected, but it seems to just levitate where the ear is, and they pull it away, and as they twirl in their fingers, you see a iridescent glow go across it as it extends in length, and it becomes a pair of blacksmith tongs, and they reach into the chest of Star, and you see it clasp around this glowing cylinder, kind of glowing gold with a steel, a black steel base, and they pull it out, and you can see there's a small crack going through the side of it, as they just kind of mutter to themselves damn it, it's not holding. Okay, and they set it down, and they just kind of sit there casting mending to reseal this crack in the magical cylinder that powers Star.
Not Baru literally having a fucking bomb staying in their room every single night. That's wild.
They just kind of right under their breath, maybe we need to use more solid glass now that I've introduced the arcane transceiver. Oh, remember, and then they pull out the onyx black sending stone was like a voice record and say, "Reminder, thank X for getting the arcane transceiver. It's been working well. Just remember to say thank you." And ask them what their favorite food is. Okay, and then puts it back to their pouch as they start mending this cylinder.
Perfect. And I assume y'all.
Stag?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Stag is like eyeing you as she's wrapping the rope around the rock and throwing it down. Like from the corner of her eye, she's not turning fully to like stare at you. But especially as you pull that sending stone and like talk about X, like that stare gets a little bit more direct as she's just kind of like cocking her head one side at you. She doesn't say anything though. And I don't know if you pick up on this or if you're even paying attention to her at all. But there's like something in Stag's eyes when you bring up X's name that hardens. And then Stag just sort of like straddles the edge of the hole, like places her feet like shoulder width and looks down into it. How far down can I see?
What kind of visions do you have?
I think I have dark vision.
And how far
Let me
does
double
that
check.
go?
Actually, no, I just have normal. I don't have dark vision. I just have normal sight, I think.
Which is what, 30 feet in darkness or?
Oh, in darkness, it's just you don't see in darkness with normal sight.
Oh, well then from the light, you can probably see what you gauge to be 30 feet before it starts getting.
It just like keeps going down. Okay, then in that case, Stag pulls out a torch from her pack and strikes it open with like a tinderbox and drops it down.
Yeah, you watch it fall and fall. And it's getting smaller and smaller. And it splatters eventually, but it's like a tiny pinprick in an otherwise black void.
About how many feet does it seem to be? Like if I'm counting how long it takes to go down. I
Yeah,
think Stag
how
actually
is-
has decent survival skills.
Yeah, like in real life, how can you measure that from time? I don't know how to do that.
God, I don't know.
S equals U plus AT, so...
No, that's not what I meant. I meant like per second.
No?
Don't do that. No, I meant like if it falls for 5 seconds, it's fallen this far.
No.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You find the acceleration of gravity on the planet, the time it takes to fall, and the starting... Yeah, I'll start
That's
talking.
too
Okay.
hard. It's too hard. It's
Daily
you're the
reminder,
I'm
only-
stress
everybody,
panting.
that somebody
stress
studies
panting in
physics.
humanities major.
There's
I
only
played
one math
both
gay in this
reasons.
group. Let's track. You probably gauge that it is 100 feet.
Before it like kind of splashes. Okay, no problem. Stag sort of turns around and projects across the field toward like that little shack where X and Zero had gone off to and says, "So the big old hole's about 100 feet deep. We ready? Come on, I'm itching."
And I think inside the little shack, like the last thing that Zero said was something like, "Sure, like you'll do it." And X kind of fixes them with this expression where all of the other expression, like mirror expressions, kind of like fall off so that it's like completely empty for a moment. Like really, it's like actually weird to see. It's not a neutral expression, it's a completely empty expression. And they go, well, of course. It won't get away. I have my eyes on it now.
Okay.
I think that's Stag.
You know what? Yeah, Stag. I'm gonna gather up the stuff we need and go.
Perfect. And all of you reconvene around the hole, and you're all standing before it and taking a brief moment of just sort of focusing before you start this spelunking venture. But we as the viewers, the camera pulls down into the darkness and goes into a pitch black. But there's something about the way we are moving through the space that we can tell. Is it the subtle like wind coming past us, or the sound that is coming from beneath or around, or is it the talking from above? It's getting farther away. And that goes on for a while before we hear one singular echoing laugh. And that's where we're going to end the episode. We do have a bonus scene to do. I just want to check in with Drac and Liv. Did you want to peace out now, or do you want to stick around and we could do shout outs after the bonus scene? Or we could do yours really quick.
I want to stick around. I want to see the bonus scene.
Okay.
I'm gonna hop out.
Okay.
I got
Can
the
you
steps.
Can you plug your stuff real quick?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Hi. I'm having a great day now. It's been a roller coaster, but I just got some good news and I'm feeling great. But yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at liveinaday. I'm also currently setting up my Tumblr. I do need to get it all pretty, but it will be Live in a Day over there too. You can hear my voice in some podcasts like Clearfield Podcast and Super Idols RPG. But in terms of shows, I am here, which is one of my favorite places to be. I'm having such a good time. I'm also under the table. Well, I'm on under the table on Total Party Chill on Mondays, where we are playing every other TTRPG under the sun. You can also see me on StrixU, and those are all the projects I have.
Beautiful.
Right now.
For now, hire Liv, you fools. How dare you? Thank you so much, Liv. You were amazing. Please enjoy the rest of your evening, and congrats on your big schnooze.
Thank you so much. Okay, I can't wait to watch this later, and then I'll cry. All right,
Perfect.
bye though. Love you all. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, I'm gonna move over to a scene that does not include us, Drac. So if you want to mute for this portion, I will tag you back in. All right, here we go. It's just Connie and C on the screen now. Thank you all again so much for unlocking unlocking this bonus scene. It's something, this scene in particular is one we wanted to do from the jump, so we appreciate the support last episode for unlocking that, and we also have another unlock for next episode that y'all hit, and we'll keep you posted on what that's going to be once we plot and scheme amongst ourselves. But for now, X, you find yourself, not for the first time, walking through a white void. Every now and then, a half-formed image appears before you. But as you walk towards it, it dissolves away. Your parents' face sunken from pain, mouthing something indiscernible. A fellow member of the Birth of the Covenant staring right through you, unblinking, unfeeling. Your new roommate, Snakes, writhing slowly and methodically around the soft curve of his face. Features you only know as a name written on a page, with the life leaving their eyes. The half-formed likeness of the tenants of Zuo House. And then, the crystal clear image of the Demagoth. The spindly fingers on one of its many giant hands slowly unfurl towards you, a gesture which at this point you are quite familiar with. Beckoning, asking, demanding your contribution. Stag, you're making your way back to Zuo House across a dark and quiet campus when the slight movement of a huge, dark figure in the corner of your eye steals your attention. You turn to take it in and find yourself staring down a hulking, 15-foot tall figure cloaked against the night. Several lanky arms are breaching the dark curves of its all-encompassing cloak that it wears. A series of jagged horns forms a halo around its head, reminiscent of the star arches that dot Arcavios. You follow its gaze down and see a figure, small in comparison. You see X, the transfer student that joined Zuo House shortly after the year began. X is standing stock still, seemingly frozen in fear. Their thumb is pressed against the runes that line their bow, that you see has begun to glow a deep red, but X makes no move to draw an arrow. What do you do?
As Stag had been cutting through the darkness and the grass and the lawn of Strixhaven campus, we see her huge axe strapped to her back, but the glamour that she put on in the morning is gone. We see the strings cutting across the fretboard. We see like the head with its various knobs and dials, and she's in the middle of humming to herself a wordless melody as she's strolling very calmly, like she's taking in the night, enjoying this alone time that she has to herself. And she's just sort of going, and she freezes when she sees that huge, like towering, multi-limbed, devil-horned, haloed mass, and her eyes widen and flick down and catch X, who's just frozen in place in fear. What is that? Shock, staring up at this thing. And immediately Stag's heart begins to pound. I think there's one thing among many other tenets that their father had drilled into them as a soldier, as a warrior, as a conquering paladin, a fighter, which is to be able to size up a foe in one look. And looking at this thing, Stag knows that if she fights it, she will die. I think it's just like instinct. There's like a gut feeling in the pit of her stomach that is telling her that. And the other tenet that her fathers had drilled into her since birth is glory before all. So her arm automatically goes toward that axe and she draws it and she says in like a single cry, "Hey, you, run!"
And
X
with
doesn't
that,
move.
yeah, we'll cut to inside of X's dreamwalk. This image is familiar. How do you engage with this figure?
I recite prayer, of course. Anguish and suffering I plea, hear thy name call, grief I call, devour me and my offering, let there be clarity and guidance amongst the bones, the bones, the bones. And they tithe. They give.
And what does that look like?
The little halo that circles X's iris begins to almost glow, and the white light begins to eat up the like inky black sclera as their entire gaze goes white. And almost like ghosts coming out of their skin, suffering, anguish, grief, pain begins to leave them and begins to go toward the outstretched hand of the Demogorth.
And as it does that, we can, as the viewers of this dream, of this exchange, can see the visual representation of suffering and pain and anguish slowly, almost methodically, beautifully, in some strange, horrifying way, seep directly into the palm, the giant palm that the Daemogoth has outstretched to you. Stag, on the outside, you can see X has now lifted their free hand towards the hulking figure.
There's a moment as Stag is frozen there, and every piece of training that they'd ever received in their life from their fathers flashes across their mind's eye, and they all sort of funnel down to this like one, I think, line from one of their dads that says something to the extent of like, "You are trained, but you're not tested," which is true. Even though Stag in her 20-some years of age has honed every muscle, every instinct, every impulse like the edge of a razor's blade, she's never actually fought a real fight. One where actual lives were on the line, only demonstrations, only trainings. Grueling, yes. Bitter and difficult, yes, but never real stakes. And something about this moment feels real. And Stag just is sort of muttering, "Glory, glory, glory." And she's looking between this huge demon thing and this, what in her eyes, helpless, about soon to be victim. And she shakes her head and sheaths her axe and says, "Fuck that," and runs forward to like grab X and flee with them to like save their life instead of seeking the glory.
Okay. Yeah, I think the figure was very absorbed by its task. So you get essentially a surprise round, and are able to grapple ecstasy. X, you are jerked out of this vision that you find peace in, that you find a quiet and a rhythmicness and a time of devotion. It's a huge part of who you are and what you know, and whether it's on a conscious or an unconscious plane. It's a huge part of you, and you've just been ripped away from it.
When X wakes up in Stag's arms as she's running away, they wake up with the force and momentum of somebody who is on fire. Like their whole body kind of like riffs really fast and really violently in Stag's arms. And then one arm cocks back and they punch her square in the eye.
And
right
Stag blacks
temple.
out. She
Stag
just
blacks
is
out.
knocked on. Yeah,
I love
she's
it.
knocked unconscious.
I love it. So you black out, and then there's a moment between you and the Daemogoth that is now present in your conscious world in front of you. And you have a beat, and then take this in. Do you do anything to respond to X or to Stag or the Daemogoth's presence?
X, if Stag is holding them and then passes out, I think both of them kind of go tumbling for a moment. And X like kind of pulls themselves up and looks over their shoulder at the Daemogoth. And then almost like plaintively, like a creature begging on its knees, they almost like crawl over Stag's body to to get between them and the Daemogoth. And they look up at it like kind of from this position on the ground on their knees, and they go, "I'll be back. Just wait, please. I can't do it now."
And it doesn't say anything, but there is this sort of like whispering through a dark wood on a full moon sensation and sound. And it does turn its hand over and bring one of its long, huge fingers closer to one of Stag's limp legs.
I cannot. She does not suffer enough for you yet. Allow me to harvest for you.
It turns its head, and the lights that magically light the central campus for the first time reveal the jagged edges of its face. And you can see 3 of its 6 eyes and the sucking lipless hole that is its mouth and the barbed edges of its chin as it turns, cocking its head to regard you. The halo of horns around its head pulses, not visibly, not discernible to anybody but you. But you feel that pulse like a sharp shooting pain through your nerves. And there's a couple
I'm a
more
cultivator.
beats. Mm-hmm.
I'm a cultivator. Please allow me to serve as I should.
It considers this and then slowly pulls back one of its hands that we, the viewer, see has only 3 huge fingers attached to it with long black nails, sharp as knives on the tips. It stands to its full height, casting a huge shadow across you, across Stag, and for feet and feet on the lawn behind you. And then it's gone. Stag.
And I think...
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
Stag, I think you come to your senses. Slowly, groggily, confused.
Yeah. Yeah, Stag is like flat on her back, like spread eagled on the grass.
And X is
And, like-
literally over you in a protective position.
Yeah, her eyes slowly flutter. Like her back hurts from because she landed on her axe, you know, and like she thumped her head against like the blade of the axe, so that hurts too. Her eye hurts from where it was punched, you know. Her chest hurts from where the wind was knocked out of her. And then her eyes slowly open and fall upon X. Huh.
Ah! X doesn't sound surprised when they say it, they just make the noise.
You.
You have a concussion.
Oh, yeah, that's probably what that ringing is. Ah, shit, my head. The God Beast. And Stag, like, sits up in, like, a single fell swoop, just up completely. Where? What? Where'd it go? Don't tell me you killed it.
No. When we ran far away enough that it's gone now.
Far away enough. And Stag looks and sees like the 10 feet that she had like traveled across the lawn.
I think you scared it.
Really? Is it convincing? You're not? You know what? You know what? You know what? You're pretty. So Stag looks at you when you say that, and there's like a moment where you wonder if she's going to question this obvious bullshit that you're selling her, and then a big smile cracks across her face, and she goes, "Yeah, I do have a penchant for doing that, don't I?" Well, good. Oh my God, I thought that was it. I thought you were gonna get like swallowed up or eaten or torn apart or something. I'm glad it left. Hey, are you okay?
Yeah. I'm sorry, I have a sleepwalking problem.
That's what that was. I was wondering if it like rooted you to the ground or something, or if you were just too scared.
I was asleep.
Sleepwalking. Well, usually it's not too dangerous to sleepwalk on Strix campus. I've never seen a god beast that close to campus before. Gosh, we should probably report this, huh? But it's so late. Wait, I think I know you. You're, yeah, you're, what's your name? You're that new transfer student, right?
Ecstasy.
Ecstasy. That's right. I remember reading that in the brochures, the programs. I thought to myself, that's a pretty name.
You're Mystigogue.
Yeah, that's me.
Thank you for picking me up. And I'm sorry for punching you in the face and giving you a concussion.
You're welcome, and you are forgiven. I mean, I guess you must have woken up. I must have jolted you out of like deep REM sleep or whatever they call it, and pow. Honestly, I probably kind of deserved it.
And X's expression kind of changes, and like this funny little expression comes over their face as they hadn't been moving at all, just kind of staring at you. And then they like twist their head a little bit. And the tiniest idea of what somebody might have conceived of a smile if they were inventing expressions for the first time comes across their face. Okay, then you deserved it.
Cutting words, Ecstasy. Cutting words.
You can call me X.
X. Like, marks the spot? Like, cross my heart, hope to die?
Cross your heart, hope to die.
You know, you're kind of weird.
So are you.
Me?
Yeah.
Weird?
Were you also sleepwalking?
Oh, no. I was late night training at one of the, like training halls, beating up some punching bags.
On your guitar? And they gesture to your axe, which still has its strings out.
My who, what now? And Stag very quickly reaches behind and snaps her fingers, and the glamour falls back down again, and it resembles a normal axe again. Oh, I wasn't. That was a, funny story, a prank someone played on me. Like a freshman year undergrad hazing. I brought my
Why are you
ancestral...
lying?
Huh?
Why are you lying?
I'm not... I'm not lying. It was a prank, and I can't...
You're lying. Why?
There's a pause as Stag is just sat upright in the grass under like the 3 a.m. light of the sky above us, and I assume we're completely alone. And Stag is just like, looking left and right, and then back at you. And that big, bright, ebullient smile sobers. Instead of like the bright light of the sun, it kind of becomes the melancholy, somber illumination of a moon. And her next words, even though she's still smiling, sound very, very sad indeed. Because I'm not a music student.
And I think that's where we leave it. There's a moment where X, you are considering these words that out of context don't necessarily mean much, but to Stag, they mean everything. And then the camera position changes and it goes up and up and up until it rests at 15 feet above the two of you. And then it swivels and starts moving away into the darkness. And that was our bonus scene. Thanks for unlocking that last episode. And let's do a quick round the horn because we got some transplaner to watch here, people. Okay, my goodness. C, start us off, please.
Oh my goodness me. Hi, my name is C. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me making very trans, very gay art on the internet anywhere at @PieSharpArt. If you liked what I did here tonight, you'll like what I do other places. I'll go through it really fast. On Monday, every other Monday, you can find me over on Exquisite Corpse TTRPG playing Divine Intervention with Drac and Humna, as well as a group of amazing other cast members. On Let's see, I'm going through the week. On Thursday, you can find me on the Mythic Initiative playing my most feral self, my worst self, in fact, one could say. So that's at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then on Saturdays, you can find me right here playing Ecstasy, who uses they, them pronouns, who is totally normal and fine. Don't worry about it. They're not. Everything's fine. That is a fact. Don't lie to your friends, kids. And then you can find me later on Saturdays at 8 p.m. US Eastern Time in just over an hour on Transplanar RPG. We are entering Endgame. I'll let Connie take the real spiel on that one because that's all you. Otherwise, keep up to date with what I'm doing on Twitter. I'm in lots and lots of projects. I'm often guesting on things. So yeah, just keep up. Thank you so much for having me. And I'll pass it over to Drac.
Oh, hi, I'm Drac, or Draconics. You can find me on Twitter at Draconics. That's DRAKONIQES. Today, here, I played Baru Barugash, the little Gorgon inventor who's apparently sassy when it comes to their creations, but never really anything else. What do I do? On Mondays, you can find me on Mondays, like C said, every other Monday over on Exquisite Corpse Presents in a campaign called Divine Intervention. It's at 8:30 Eastern. Is it 8:30 Eastern? I don't know.
It's at 10 p.m. Eastern.
10 p.m. Eastern.
So close.
Ridiculous for me. But 10 p.m. Eastern over on Exquisite Corpse Presents. On Tuesdays, you can find me over on Table Story at 4 p.m. Eastern in a campaign called Kingmakers, where I play a disgraced king. It's very dark, grim, kind of gory. So a bunch of content warnings on that if you do show up for that. And Saturdays, I'm here. I'm playing Barga. So that's pretty much all I have going on at the moment. I have some secret projects I'm working on, so just keep an eye out on my Twitter, Tumblr, just everything. I'll post on whatever is still alive when the projects are out. But yeah, I'm going to pass it over to Connie.
Yeah, hey everyone, I've been Connie, pronouns they, he, and she. You can find me all across the internet at by Connie Chong, BYCONNICHANG. I played Mystigo Stag, Zoa Graves, everyone's favorite, very repressed Goliath barbarian lady. Right here, as C has mentioned, I am here Saturdays at 3 p.m. US Eastern Time on Vana's channel as Stag, but at 8 p.m. US Eastern Time on twitch.tv/transplanar RPG. I am the GM for The Second Stranger, which is an all-transgender, POC-led dark fantasy D&D campaign set in an original non-colonial anti-Orientalist world. We are 7 arcs in. Each arc is 15 to 17 episodes long or so, and it is like tonight's episode, Arc 7, Episode 6, is like the biggest lore drop of the entire campaign that I personally, as a game master, have been building toward for the past 2.5 years. So I love it if folks showed up. Even if you're brand new, come get a taste of that good transplanar stuff. Like I mentioned at the top of the stream, all of our streams are pre-recorded. They're edited down to about 2.5 or sub 2.5 hours long each, with full background music and sound effects and all that. So definitely check us out. We have a podcast backlog as well. You can follow Transplanar all across the internet at Transplanar RPG. I also recently recorded an Adventuring Academy interview episode with Dimension 20 with Brennan Lee Mulligan. So it's the most recent one up on Dropout TV. If you don't have the app, you can get a free trial for 3 days. I highly recommend it. It's like $5.99 a month, and it's some really good content up there. Like all of Dimension 20, Game Changer, like so much cool, good stuff there, especially if you like comedy and really good performances. So check out my episode, The Braid of Story, with Brennan. It was such a great talk. And hopefully see you all tonight at 8 p.m. US Eastern Time on Transplanar's channel. And with that, I'll pass things back to Vana.
Thank you. Y'all are amazing and always doing cool stuff. And I'm just so proud and excited for you. And oh my God. I'm Vana. I stream here full time, twitch.tv/Vana, VANA. I play the Vigi games. And we do this every Saturday. And that's basically it. So thank you all so much for tuning in today. Thank you for helping us hit our bonus scene goal for last week for the awesome bonus scene we just did. And also for the one for next week. Can't wait to put up another one for you. Episode 3 is going to be next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. And please !cast to follow everyone on their Twitter accounts while they last. And thank you again to our sponsors for showing us so much love. We're gonna go raid Nameless Domain, drop some hearts, hugs, hype in the chat. Hamna is over there doing some Pokemon shenanigans, so let's go show some support. Y'all are beautiful. See you later. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.